Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? Another episode of Stats Over Politics here on a Monday, April 24th. As always, I'm Shaun Holko alongside my guys, Kevin Dent, Jaevon Toddy making his triumphant return, and Gary Singh will be joining us very, very soon. Toddy, I know you've been dealing with some personal stuff, but how are you doing, my guy?
Miami plus 260, baby. That's how we're doing. That's how we're doing.
Toddy's feeling real good right now. Could the number one seed in the Eastern Conference actually be eliminated in the
Celtics
first round, Kevin?
Baby.
Jeez. Who would have thought?
Not me, that's for sure. But, I mean, Giannis Antetokounmpo getting injured. He hurt his back, right? That's significant, and it may be something that the Bucks cannot overcome. I'll be frankly honest. I haven't seen today's Bucks and Heat game at all. I just got back from having dinner with my mom after going to the gym. Did Jaevon? You were saying that it's classic Jimmy Butler. Is he just on one?
Points.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh,
Jimmy, baby.
Points. Hey, as soon as Giannis had a fucking, he was like on the block, spun, and did like a reverse dunk, the Bucks were favored to win the title. They were, as soon as they were like, all right, he's back. Yeah, we're going to give him the favor.
This kind of sounds similar to when the Warriors, and we're going to get into that in a bit, but when the Warriors were coming into this Kings series, the Warriors were so heavily favored. And then after game one, when the Kings won, the odds just shifted dramatically, and Vegas even took down the odds for a bit. So they kind of learned their lesson there, and I think Vegas is probably, well, actually, now that I think about it, I don't think Vegas is the one hurting right now. It's everyone who might have jumped on that bet. And, I jumped on a different bet, and it was a bad idea. Just for context for our listeners, about 20-30 minutes before the Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia fight happened on Saturday, I got a text message from one of my cousin's friends, and he said, Ryan Garcia, 4th round knockout, book it. And his confidence was so strong that I was like, well, I'm not going to bet on Ryan Garcia to get a 4th round knockout, but I'll pick him to win the fight. And I joined our group chat between the four of us, and I knew that either Kevin or Jaevon would want to bite on it. Jaevon responded within like 10 seconds. He instantly was like, I will take your money. Thank you very much. And so I lost $20 on Saturday.
Hey, Shaun paid for internet last night. That's all I got to say.
Hey, I'm happy to do it. I hope you and Soph enjoyed a great dinner at you and I, our former workplace at In-N-Out Burger. And I'm happy to do it because you guys see the shirt, Shaun and Vaughn from the previous iteration of Jaevon and I's podcast.
David.
And stop it. But Kevin, during the course of the 2 years of that podcast, Jaevon and I made many bets, and I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I definitely had my fair share of wins, probably like 60-40, maybe 70-30. And so I'm happy to give back every once in a while. You know, what goes around comes around.
This
right,
was before I was a gambler. So this was just me. I was gambling with my heart, not with my head. So I was picking a whole bunch of just crazy shit. It was crazy shit. Like Shaun would be like, Ohio State's not winning next week. And they'd be playing some slapdick team. I'd be like, bet they're not going to win. And he's like, all right. They're playing like fucking
Rutgers.
Rutgers, and they blow them out by 50. Thanks for $20.
It was easy money. I actually kept a running tally after a while, but I lost track. I think Jaevon's won a lot more bets between the two of us since Stats Over Politics began, and so
I think iteration.
Correct. So I think he's definitely creeping up on us. We gotta get some shirts for Stats Over Politics with our. We have an amazing graphic. We gotta. Is he here? I don't see him.
No, I'm talking about Wes.
Oh, Wes is here. I thought you were talking about Gary. So
going out like no bitch.
let's get to a couple of these YouTube comments real quickly. As Tracy Toddy, Mama Toddy says, well, Jimmy Butler is going off tonight. T, you were right about that. He is absolutely going crazy, and
Plus
as
260.
Kevin said,
Oh my God.
our
There's
favorite
no way.
our favorite Minnesota fan, Wes, weighs in and says T-Wolves in 7. Wes, like I told you after the play-in game, I am no longer participating in any Minnesota sports propaganda.
And fuck the T-Wolves. They ruined me last night. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I had the Nuggets in a sweep. Last leg on the. Let me just go on a tangent here. I'm sorry.
Please do. Go ahead.
As people know, I gamble.
You don't say.
I don't know if people know about that, but I gamble a lot on this podcast. So we had a four-teamer.
4-teamer steamer.
We had a 4-teamer steam last night. So we hopped on the Knicks live. I should have took them before the game started, but I got them at minus 220. We had them part of the par. We had the Boston Bruins. There's no yes, I put NHL on there. Don't blame me. NHL was on the par. And your boy's he's been balls deep in some XFL. So we had the Houston Roughnecks on there, and they blew them out of the water. So I knew that I knew the Bruins were going to win just because the Bruins are like one of the best teams in the NHL. I don't watch hockey like that, but I know that the Bruins are like that. So I was like, they're gonna win. 6-2, baby. I didn't put the Celtics on there because the odds weren't great, but I was like, damn, I know that the Celtics are gonna win. So I was like, why don't I just put them on there and just call it a day? We're gonna win. We're gonna bounce back after losing. We just lost. JT, JB, they're gonna have at least 80 points together. They had 60, and they won. I was like, you know what? I watched Denver, who won me some money on Friday, by the way. Shout out to Denver. But fuck you, Denver. We put them on the par. I was like, they're gonna go out. They're gonna do what they did on Friday. It's gonna be easy peasy. They're just how I didn't do my research on. They've never swept anybody ever in the history of their franchise. Don't know how I didn't do that. And I didn't see Ant's quotes saying, "Hey, it's not over, man. We ain't getting swept." I wish I would have saw that after game 3 because I would have believed him. He went out and scored 35. Now the game wasn't over. They were down 12 with like 2.5 minutes to go. Yeah, this is a perfect segue. What's the segue into this game? Fuck it. So they are down. First off, they're up 4 at half. They go in the third quarter, or the Nuggets are up 4 at half. Timberwolves going like a 23-9 run in the third quarter. They just don't the Nuggets just forget how to play basketball. They just Jokic, who had 40 in the game, by the way, he did have 40. I think Cat got into foul trouble, which I mean he always is in foul trouble anyway. But Ant is just giving me the ball. Give me the ball. I'm getting layups. I'm getting each shot I want. I'm blocking shots. I'm getting steals. Ant is just going on one of these. He's having one of these Ant games. He's only 21, by the way. And then it's just like, all right. So I'm like, damn, I'm going out. I'm going out sad in this game. And then the fourth quarter comes, and I'm just like, they're up 12 with like 2.5 minutes left. And I was like, damn, man. I was like, damn, I was just like, fuck, like I'm not. I told Soph, I said, we're getting Chicago Fire if the Nuggets win tonight. I told her if the Nuggets win, we're getting Chicago Fire. I told her that. And I was like, all right. So I'm just like sitting there and I'm just like, all right, the game's over. And I'm like in the back of my head, I'm like, they're down 12. Oh, there's nothing but like 4 threes. They can get 4 threes off, right? It's nothing, right? MPJ comes down, bang, here's a 3. I'm like, all right, cut single digits. Steal, they get a steal. Jokic finds MPJ again, bang, here's another 3. I'm like, all right, hold on now. What's going on here? Get another stop. Jokic hits a 3. I'm like, what the fuck? They're down 3 with a minute. They were just down 12. There's no way. Bro, Jokic comes down. His cat with a little fade away. Down 1. Bro, Cat turns the ball over. They get the steal. Jokic gets the ball and gets fouled. And they're in the bonus. I'm like, oh my God. Jokic is about to go. He's going to the line to shoot 2. Shooting 2, and they're down 1, bro. You can go up with like 10 seconds left. Bro, Jokic missed the first free throw. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. I was like, all right. So I had that little glimmer of hope, like, damn, okay, we can't win in regulation. So I'm just like, overtime So I'm like, damn. Jokic makes a free throw. They call timeout. I'm like, bro, just deny Anthony Edwards. Just deny him. Don't let him get the ball. don't let Anthony Edwards to get the ball, bro. I'm just like, you can't let him. Don't let Ant beat you. Don't.
Well, everyone, for our audio-only listeners, that is officially Jaevon's first freeze of the stream. I'm not sure if he fell out. No, he did not. He just refreshed. It's weird, Kevin. It's weird. Every time, like, it from what we can see, he's still there, but then apparently it probably goes black on his end. So Jaevon will be back. He will be back with us within seconds. But well, there he is right there. But anyways, Jaevon had his time, and so now, Kevin, I want to get to you on this one. As your boy Wes, he was saying how happy he was that we are starting out today's podcast with a recap of the Timberwolves game. And so what were your thoughts on this one? Because the Timberwolves were up like 12 or something like that with a couple minutes left. They completely blew the lead, sent it to overtime, and then the Nuggets still almost won, but because of Ant Edwards, the Timberwolves ultimately pulled away. So what were your thoughts on this, Kevin?
You know, I was going to come on the pod and say so much analysis about the game, but I'm not going to lie to you guys because I told Wes this morning I didn't even watch the game. I thought it was a clean sweep. I didn't waste my time watching it. I watched the movie. Wasn't even paying attention. I woke up this morning and saw Wes how he posted on his Instagram story talking about Wolves and 7. I was like, okay, next year? God. And I was like, oh, my God, they won. And so I didn't want to come on here and lie. I didn't watch the game, man, but what Toddy was going off, man. Ant-Man's just doing Ant-Man things. You know, we're expecting him to come in here, and this is his second round of the playoffs. Second run of the playoffs.
Alexander hit 2 shots of his life. Didn't shoot the whole entire freaking game. Hit 2 threes in overtime. Austin Rivers didn't play 6 minutes. Hits a fucking corner 3. Like, what is happening right now, bro? Like,
mixtape.
Oh my God. And I love Austin Rivers to death, but I'm just like, bro, he didn't play the entire game. Didn't get no type of shots up. He just comes in. Jab step. I'm just like, there's Nickeil Alexander-Walker. 2 corners.
Cousin of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
I don't know what the fuck type of shit he had going on, but he hit 2 clutch-ass corner 3s in overtime. And that Mike Conley hit a fucking bank shot corner 3 with the time.
From the Ohio State University.
In corner 3. Yeah. And I was just like, oh my God, there's no way. Going into, I'm sorry, before I got cut off, before I,
fell out of the stream.
Before I fell out, I had a chance to hedge my bet before overtime started. T-Wolves were plus 120, and I was like, bro, I should hedge my bet. Like, I thought about it, but then it didn't let me bet it. But then I was like, fuck, all right, they're going to overtime, so I'm like, let me just hedge it. And then you know what I said? I said, fuck that. I'm not hedging my bet. And the T-Wolves ended up winning in overtime, and I was about to do it too. I was like, no, fuck that. Nuggets came back. They about to come back and do it, man. I was like, so we about to use Chicago Fire. She fucking sleeps in the background, and I'm just like, and obviously T-Wolves won, so it was up and down weekend. But we'll get to that later. But it was up and down weekend.
Unfortunately, Jaevon and Sophia had to settle for In-N-Out instead of Chicago Fire, but maybe next week. And as our guy Wes says in the YouTube comments, next man up, and he's also upset with you, Kevin, that you didn't watch. Wes, come on. This is all right. This is where I gotta say my piece about
locked
the series.
The fuck in, Wes.
Betting money on this game and on this series is the only way. Ooh, there's a hockey fight in front of me. Anyway, sorry. If I bet on this series or this game, that's the only way that I truly would have been interested in this game and in this series. Because, Kevin, I was the same way. Like, I tuned into game 1. Game 1 was a blowout. I was like, no thanks. I have had no interest to tune into this series. And I got back from San Francisco and going to game 4 of the Kings and Warriors yesterday. And basically, shortly after the Timberwolves and Nuggets started, put it on the TV, but I fell asleep. That's how interesting that game was, because I fell asleep. And then I woke up in the 4th quarter. I was like, oh, wow, the T-Wolves are actually up right now. Are they going to avoid elimination? Apparently they did. And probably the most sad graphic I have ever seen in my life after they won the game said they avoided being swept for the first time in their franchise history. It's like, congratulations, you didn't get swept. But I mean, to me, the Nuggets are going to close it out in 5. Anthony Edwards won the game for pride and to show everybody that
they're -9 favorites. So Vegas is telling you they're going to beat the dog shit out of them in game.
Yeah,
5.
I would take the Nuggets -9 in that game.
Don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of it.
To me, it's just like the Timberwolves basically just extended their season for like another 3 days, and now they get to go on a nice little trip to Denver, go see the city, be at Mile High, maybe in the elevation.
You know what's crazy?
Thoughts?
The way that Cap plays, he still thinks it's his team. That's the insane part. Like, bro, get the ball to fucking Anthony Edwards. You got 5 fouls, bro. Like, what are we doing here? Wes could probably attend to this. Like, Cap still plays like he is the best player on the team, and he's not. Anthony Edwards has arrived. I mean, you should have known that last year. Like, even in last year's playoffs. Like, I don't know what he believes. He believes that he is the best player on the team still. And that's the sad part. And
getting paid like it.
Hey, I think on like one of the years of college, he's about to get 60
to play every other season.
Yeah, so and I think we're talking like this, like their season's over. Obviously, we all believe that it will be over in 5.
Very soon.
I think that
they're
probably going to blow this roster up and build around Anthony Edwards.
Does that mean getting rid of Rudy and Cat?
They have to. I mean,
both of them. I mean, yeah, they don't hold on to Rudy.
You keep on. I think you keep on to Rudy. Rudy can be a defender, but Cat wants to be the man.
5
well,
picks.
Jaevon, Jaevon, put yourself in their shoes, in the shoes of Tim Conley,
like,
the president.
Like, bro, we gave up 5 picks for this. I mean,
well, think about it, Jaevon. If you just bought a brand new car and you spent $50,000 on that car, would you sell that car a year later for $10,000 when that car basically hasn't depreciated too much, but you just kind of realize that you overpaid?
You gotta be like Denzel. I'm leaving here with something.
Around the way. I'm leaving here with something.
So Jaevon, you think that they should just cut their losses and just say, you know what, this experiment didn't work. We wasted all this capital. Move on.
You get some of that back from Cat, though. I think you'll probably get a couple of players, maybe a couple of picks, because this contract is huge. You'll get something. Are you giving a first-round pick for Rudy Gobert right now? 1 first-round pick.
No.
No, exactly. Good. So you kind of got to like, all right, cut your losses there. You get what you can from Cat. But this is Anthony Edwards' team, and I feel like you're going to try to build. Because I'd say it's kind of formed around Cat in a sense, but, I mean, you got the number 1 pick and got Anthony Edwards. You lucked up there. But at the same time, it's like, all right, Cat's crowding the paint. Rudy Gobert's crowding the paint. Ant's game is thrived off slashing, getting to the basket. His jumper is developed. He's got a nice step back mid-range. His 3-point game is developed, but he needs lanes to the basket, and that's what his game is. He's got a hell of a first step. He can take anybody one-on-one to the basket. He's a great defender. I think he's a very underrated defender. He could for sure be on an all-defensive team in the later years. He's only freaking 21 years old, so that's the crazy part about this thing. He's got so much potential. And I think you do what you can to kind of like try to build around him, because I think this is his team ultimately.
Are we all in agreement that the Nuggets end up closing this series out in 5? Because I am.
Yes.
Yes.
100%. But hey, I was wrong. I thought they'd get swept. So,
I did too. And the notepad doesn't lie, and the notepad does keep track of that. And when these playoffs are done, we do have our bracket challenge, and whoever decided to participate in our bracket challenge, whoever wins gets to come on the podcast, like my friend Emiliano did for winning the March Madness bracket challenge. Now we bring in the 4th head to this snake, and that is Mr. Gary Singh joining us. How are we doing, Gary?
Big Gary.
What's up? What's happening? What's good with the guys? 4 heads on the snake. That's a little scary, brother. It's a little scary.
I mean, hey, we're scary hours. But real quickly, Gary, did you want to give your thoughts on this Timberwolves and Nuggets series? Because we basically just wrapped that up, and we're all in agreement that we think that the Timberwolves are going to get closed out in 5 games.
Yeah, I agree right there. You guys probably wrapped it up pretty well. That one's pretty easy series to talk about real quick. 3-1, pretty much a wrap. They've been dominating them in every which way, and realistically, you could just tell the Timberwolves are going to lead a lot of leadership add to this team in the offseason and really going to have to give the reins and to Anthony Edwards and just give him more help in some way. They have to switch something up because either did not have enough time with Towns and Gobert on the floor together to log enough minutes to figure that out, like the coach and everyone's been hinting towards, or realistically, they're going to have to make another big move this offseason. So I think they should already be looking at Cancun trips this summer. It was a good season for them, but hopefully see the Timberwolves next year.
And as T mentioned in the YouTube comments, she asked, "Who got the Lakers?"
Oh, I got the Lakers
tonight.
-4.5. You bet your ass, mother. I got
Bet your ass, mother.
Yeah, I got the Lakers -4.
Oh, we just got our first Gary dropout of the show.
Oh, my goodness.
I think Gary might have had that happen once or twice before, but Gary just fell out of the stream. He'll be back soon for our audio only listeners. And so now, guys, let's move on to this series because we are recording here on a Monday night at about 7:00. We started. Now it's 7:24. So the Lakers and Grizzlies just got underway in LA, and the Lakers currently lead the Grizzlies 2-1, as it looks like Jaevon just fell out again. So we can just replace Jaevon with Gary. Here we are. We're still with the
the funny thing is when that happened, right?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Can you hear me better now? Because I felt lagging, so I was like, I'm just gonna drop myself.
You were lagging huge. I was gonna private message you about that one because when I asked,
am I good now?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Oh, that's why I was like, that's why I refreshed. I was like, I'm gonna get out of here real quick. Something's off.
Okay, so it was a self-induced dropout.
Yeah, I for sure dropped out though.
That's two.
And I usually like try to align us with the way that our graphic is in the corner, just for the same spots for consistency on every episode. But between Jaevon and Gary dropping out, I mean, I'm going to be doing that every 5 minutes. So I don't think I should do that right now. And so, okay, so Jaevon, you got the Lakers minus the points tonight. And so Gary, where do you side on this series with the Lakers? Do they win tonight?
I think the Lakers are going to wrap it up tonight, guys. I know they just started right now. Took a peek at it, but I think they're going to I think this series got really personal for LeBron. I mean, obviously LeBron takes everything personal. It's a playoffs. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, but you can just tell they just been essentially that first quarter last game. After that, they've been on nonstop ever since. And I know John Morant made a big push at the end of last game, things of that nature. But I just feel like their team's an overall better team. They got enough wing defenders to guard this team. It's really John Morant or bust at the moment. I know the guys are chipping in, but I just feel like if Ja's not 100%, and you could tell he's 100%, even though obviously performance last night, it looks like he's 100%, but realistically, I just feel like they don't got enough vets, and they're just not going to be able to beat the Lakers, to be honest. We got me and Kev, we got the rocking all the way to the chips. We got to believe, especially just happened with the Bucks. Man,
Gary, don't let them tell us we didn't tell them. We try to let them know early. We try to let them know.
Exactly.
Laker fans.
No, whoa. There's only 6 and 23 jerseys in that closet. I'm a LeBron fan. Don't get it twisted.
Straight up.
And so Kevin, like Gary said, you guys both have the Lakers winning it all. And so do you think that the Lakers are going to end up closing this series out in 5, just like the Nuggets? Because Ja did make his return, but you can tell that he's not at 100%. Obviously, that's an understatement, just like it'll be the case most likely for De'Aaron Fox, and we'll get to that series next. But focusing on the Lakers, do you think they close it out in 5, Kevin?
It depends, man. Is AD Anthony Davis going to show up, or AD always disappointing? You know, game 2, he finished with 13 points, 4-14 from the field with 9 rebounds and 5 points.
No job.
In game 3, 31 points, 17 rebounds, 11 of 24 from the field with 3 blocks. It's night and day with Anthony Davis. If he can show up every day and play alongside LeBron James, and we have Rui. He's been cooking with hot fire.
Hachimura
Set a Lakers record for most points with 15 plus off the bench in the playoffs. So they're rolling right now, but it definitely starts with Anthony Davis. They got LeBron James. He's got to go out there and facilitate and do what he has to do. But when it comes down to it, Anthony Davis is going to have to show up for the Lakers to have any chance. Like Gary and I predicted them going all the way. Without Anthony Davis, with the game 2 Anthony Davis, it's not going to look good. But if we can get game 3 Anthony Davis, I definitely see them finish it off at 5. But like Gary said, went out swinging 22 straight points. Ja Morant is in his 3rd year and has already had 7 30-point playoff games.
They were up 25.
Literally, dude's out there shooting 4. He had 4 threes with the best of hand. They weren't even guarding him, and he was just out there cashing. So, but back to your question,
was trying to get
depends on. Oh yeah, it just depends on what Anthony Davis the Lakers get.
Okay, Jaevon, you are betting on the Lakers tonight minus the points, and so you think that they're definitely going to win. But do you think that they're going to close this series out in 5 games back in Memphis?
Well, let's just backtrack to game 3 because we had them on. We had a 3-team team, and the Lakers were on that bar with Tank Davis as well.
Keep reminding me, please. It happened again, ladies and gentlemen.
He knows what he's about to do too. That's
Yeah,
he knows it's coming.
He can see it. And so I'm just gonna remove Jaevon from the stream real quick so then he's not frozen. And so anyway, since the both of you already gave your thoughts, or Gary, did you have something to say? It looked like you wanted to get in there.
Yeah, I was about to say, really, if you want to go more deeper into, like Kev said, Anthony Davis is obviously going to be the key. I kind of chalk up game 2 to them now. You could just tell they didn't come out with that right attitude, like it's the playoffs just because Ja's not playing. So I really feel like, Kev, they've been dominating them game 1 and game 3. But realistically, if we want to point anyone out on the Lakers in particular that I'm waiting for to have a great game and show them why they made a trade, is D'Angelo Russell. I feel like he was really, when he came in, he was icing his veins for sure and really making his 3-ball. And, he's still making the correct play on the offense and really not being too much of a liability on defense where they have to worry about him. But I feel like offensively, his 3-pointers, he got to have one of these games. I think one of these games is coming soon for D'Angelo Russell to really help the Lakers start getting ready for round 2. What else?
All right, Jaevon, give us your thoughts on the Lakers real quickly before you fall out again.
Lakers are up 2 right now, so I mean, I have faith.
What's the official score? What's the clock? I will just say, I for those of you who picked up on the fact that I have hockey on in front of me right now, that is because I don't have cable and I stream some of the games through my laptop, and so when the laptop is being used for the podcast, I can't watch the games in front of me. So I got riveting hockey on.
He's got parlay cooking.
No. I bowed out of betting. I lost too much money in 2022.
Really, Shaun, if you really, really want to watch it, just turn Stream East on your phone, but keep hosting.
I lied. They're down.
I got the tablet. I was going to try to start getting it going. Go ahead, Jaevon.
No, I think Kevin kind of hit on it, the nail on the head. Anthony Davis. I think this team kind of has to play through Anthony Davis for the Lakers to be successful. LeBron can go off for a 30-point game, but in this past season, and it hasn't really translated to wins as much as if Anthony Davis has a monster 30 and 20 game. They kind of need Anthony Davis to show up, and that's kind of been the up and downs with the Lakers. Is Anthony Davis going to be healthy? Is he playing? Is he playing well, or like what's going on with AD? So that's kind of the centerpiece. I think the Lakers have to, play through. It does help when you have Rui Hachimura going for 29 points, and you have Austin Reeves having 25, 23 points. Even when he's at, 15, that's like his average. Austin Reeves averages around like 15, 16 points a game. So if he's giving you that on a consistent basis, you're getting AD 30 points. LeBron can give you a triple-double. Rui Hachimura can hit 5 threes off the bench. Hey, the Lakers are smooth sailing. But you can't have a game where AD is giving you 12 points and going 3 of 19 from the field and, not really, cleaning the glass like he usually does. So this team is not really built for LeBron to kind of carry them like LeBron. Like, it used to be times where you put LeBron on the Magic, They're going to the NBA Finals. You put them on the Charlotte Bobcats. When people were saying that, I think those days have kind of sailed for LeBron now. But, I mean, he can still – LeBron, the way he averages 27 this year, so he can still give you 30. But it's not going to be like – it's not going to translate to a W. This team is kind of built off Anthony Davis and his motor and him being able to produce and get rebounds, block shots, who I think will probably be an on and all defensive team this year from the way that he's kind of been playing as of lately. But this team kind of just runs off how good is AD going to play and is he going to be available?
Yeah, and I picked before this series, I picked the Lakers to win in 6, and that was obviously before the Ja Morant injury. Just for the sake of consistency, I'm going to stick with that pick and stick with the Lakers to finish the series out in 6. I mean, to me, it seems much more realistic that they're going to close it out at home because, like both of you guys were saying, Kevin and Gary, if Anthony Davis doesn't live up to the expectations that we all have for him as arguably one of the best big men in the NBA, if he doesn't live up to that, then the Lakers may not have enough unless they're getting guys like Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, all of them contributing and giving them what they need to contribute. And so just like we saw Ja go crazy in the fourth quarter of Game 3, he could just as easily do that tonight, or he could just as easily do that in Game 5. I think a sense of pride, just like we saw from Anthony Edwards last night. Anthony Edwards didn't want to get closed out on his home floor. Yeah, you're extending the season 3 games. You're most likely going to get bounced in Game 5, and you have to add a whole extra trip to go ahead and do it. But it's significant when it comes to pride of getting eliminated on the road versus getting sent home in front of your home fans. I mean, just think back to when the Kings had a chance to clinch the playoffs against the Timberwolves, but then they were unable to do so, and the home fans were extremely deflated. Luckily for Kevin, he was able to be there in Portland for when the Kings clinched, but for the 17,000 plus that were there at the Golden One Center on that Monday, they were extremely disappointed.
Because Kevin wasn't there.
Exactly. Kevin is the King's good luck charm. We need you here in Game 5.
Send him out.
Hey, man. Hey. What can I say? When I went to Florida, the Bucks won a championship, man. And the Lightning. Good luck. Except for the Blazers. Wow.
And so just to wrap up, I'm going to pick the Lakers to finish the series in 6 games, just like I had predicted before the series started, and mainly just because I think that Ja Morant is going to have himself one more game like we saw in Game 3. Go ahead, Gary.
No, just to wrap it up real quick, like, let's not get twisted. I'm pretty sure I picked it in 6-2. Like, I would not be surprised if the Grizzlies win tonight and it's tied up 2-2, going back.
Yeah, bring out that notepad.
I wouldn't be.
We never have to wonder. I got it right here.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
I forgot my picks, but I always wouldn't be surprised if this goes to Game 6 and Lakers have to close them out on their home floor. So I just don't feel like these Grizzlies. I feel like we're basically all banking on LeBron. I know Kev's banking on LeBron. I'm banking on LeBron. We can say Anthony Davis all we want. We just want him to bring his regular numbers. And I think LeBron can get it together, even though it's year 20 and he should not be doing this, but he's still doing it in the playoffs. So what we see from Jimmy Butler, LeBron can do too, but he don't need to do that because he's going to do it in his own different way. But I just really think that, let's wrap it up. The Lakers are going to take this thing. It would be really nice, though, if they finish it in 5 so they can get some rest because that's going to be crucial. So they shouldn't play with their food, but I can see the way the Lakers usually play and how they've been these last few years. They usually play with the food.
So the Stats Over Politics notepad that does not lie. Because we did not know officially going into the playoffs, so when we made our predictions that the Lakers were going to because of the play-in, we didn't know officially who the Grizzlies were going to play, but we all assumed it was going to be the Lakers. And what I have written down here is that everyone, including Emiliano, said the Lakers were going to upset the Grizzlies. So we were all picking the Lakers in this series. I didn't get down exactly how many games for each person, but I do know that I picked 6 myself. As at the end of the first quarter, the Lakers lead the Grizzlies 29-23. So we shall see. What was it, Jaevon? Is it Lakers -7.5 is what you have?
4.5.
Okay. Oh, well, that's as of right now at the end of the first quarter, that is cashing.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, well, there it is again. Well, I just want to say for the record, for all of our listeners, Jaevon used to work at Xfinity, and I think that Xfinity just hates him now. I think they just hate him now because he has the same Wi-Fi box as me, all that good stuff. But I don't know. I live in an apartment complex. I don't know how to explain it. As we welcome our guy Jaevon Toddy back in here to the stream for our audio only listeners. Now, guys, let's transition to some sad news, some disappointing news. And this was one of many pieces of news that we found out today, as today was a very busy Sports Monday, not just in the NBA, but also in the NFL. You could see how I was like kind of delaying and just rambling a little bit because I don't want to talk about it, but here we are. Let's talk about it. De'Aaron Fox fractured the tip of his finger. I think it was his index finger on his shooting hand. De'Aaron Fox fractured the tip of his finger in Game 4. It was on a play. It was on a meaningless play where he got fouled and then he still went to follow through on the layup. Kevon Looney tried to contest it, and apparently he hit him on the finger so bad that it fractured the tip of his finger. And go ahead, Jaevon. What's up?
In the third quarter, that's when it happened.
Yes, that is correct. It happened in the third quarter. But
he had 38. He had 40 still with a broke finger. So let's not get that misconstrued. Like, hey, when Shams tweeted everything out, he said he was doubtful. We didn't get the out for the year. Like when they tweeted about Oladipo today, earlier today. Yeah, Oladipo, he out for the year. He didn't come out and say that. So there's that glimmer. That back door's open still for them Kings fans. Like, hey, Fox playing. He's running out. He's running out to love Sosa on Wednesday night. He's coming back with a vengeance. Kings ain't losing that home. Warriors are the worst team on the road.
Von's trying to give us hope, but I also feel like he's not giving us hope. So I'm feeling sad by this news.
Sean's not a King. He's not Shaun. Ty's not a Kings fan, bro. So he's laughing at our pain.
He's laughing, but he's trying to make it seem like he's not laughing, but he's really laughing at us right now.
He's trolling us right now.
Kobe playing with a broke finger. De'Aaron Fox, the most clutch player in the league, playing with a broke finger.
So Gary, you're not going to troll us on this one, and so give us your thoughts on De'Aaron Fox fracturing the tip of his finger. Like, do you think that this is the nail in the Kings' coffin, or do they still have a chance to win this series?
To be honest with you, I was just happy that it's the tip of his what they said, pinky finger,
index finger on his shooting hand.
Right there.
Index finger.
That's
a tough one, guys, because I actually got 2 sprained fingers myself right here. And,
tell us how.
We got the inside source. We got the inside source.
So my shooting hand too. And if this finger, I ain't gonna lie, this is the follow through finger right here, especially left. It's the follow through finger, so it's gonna be tough. But good thing from Mr. Fox. I think he's a tough guy. I think he's gonna do his best for him and the team. I think he's gonna fight through. I think he's gonna be able to play this game. Hopefully, if he's able to play. And I think if he plays, obviously, I can be 100%. But we've been seeing a lot of stars not be 100%. We just seen Giannis go out there. I'm pretty sure he's 100%. We know Ja's been out there. He's 100%. A lot of players been out there 100%. And all you can do is tip your hat to them and just really love them for putting the warrior mentality on, like you guys mentioned it. Like Von was mentioning earlier.
Use a different word. Use a different word. Use a different word. Use a different word. Do not say warrior mentality. Use a different word.
Yeah, I
don't want to hear it right now.
Anyways, you know what I'm saying. I wouldn't even say that type of warriors. Anyways,
a dog mentality. Like use any other word other than warrior.
Whatever you want to say, Shaun. Plug the word in for me. But I was just trying to say that I think that he's going to be able to still do his thing as much as he can. He's still fast. He can't stop his speed. Luckily, none of the extremities are good. Everything's good to go. It's just the hands are good. The floaters are hopefully just going. Hopefully the touch is still be able to be there. But I ain't gonna lie. Fox has been doing great all year long. He's been doing great all year in these playoffs. He's been getting his respect in every which way. And I know the whole, like Shaun mentioned last week, the national media has been giving Fox his respect and his due, which is great to see because that guy's been putting in the work in Sacramento and Sacramento Kings jersey for quite a while now. And it's all paying off right in front of everyone's eyes. So it's time the Kings to be the team that they've been all year, a deep team. It's time for any other player to step up. Kevin to keep Kevin Huerter have a great game. Murray come again on a great game. We need this. Our players, Trey Lyles. We already know all the guys' names. We can rattle them off. All we want. We need Sabonis keep doing his thing. We just need Monk to come back. We just all need a game to help out Fox. a game to help out Fox on home floor, a pivotal game 5. So if the question is, Shaun, if am I worried about De'Aaron Fox? Yeah, I'm a little worried because I'm a little afraid his touch not going to be there. But at the end of the day, I believe he's going to fight through it. And I believe we still have a chance to win this game because we're going to have everyone come together. And I think game 5 at home, it's about due for a W, guys. Time to light the beam one more time. Come on now.
Kevin, what's your level of concern? Did he just come back and fell out again?
Vaughn's missed my whole speech right there. Come on now.
Nope. I think he's still here. Jaevon, are you still with us?
I'm here. I see you. I see everyone.
Missed my speech.
Just know, guys, help is on the way.
Help is on the way.
Help is on the way. I promise.
That's what I just said. Did I not? Help is on the way for Fox. It's all good.
Is that what he said? Damn, I missed
it. Yeah, that's exactly what Gary said. And Jaevon, sometimes forgive me because sometimes I remove you from the stream on our end because I hear you say like, "Oh shit," and I think that's you basically being like, "Oh man, it happened again," and then it takes like 5 seconds for you to actually drop out. And so I'll make sure not to move you out until you officially do so yourself. But Kevin, I wanted to get your thoughts on this De'Aaron Fox injury. I think the best way to phrase it is, what's your level of concern from 1 to 10?
He's at a 5.
1 to 10, I'm at a 15. So let me read you something. Game 1, 38 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal. Game 2, 26 points, 9 boards, 9 assists. Game 3, 24 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists. Game 4, 38 points, 1 rebound, 5 assists. What help is on the way? We call them the Avengers. That's a lot of help. You know, I know role players play better at home, but if the Kings do, if this is the reason the downfall happens, I will be on here pushing the narrative that the Warriors dynasty is a bluff. You know, first it was no Kyrie, no KD, then there was no Kawhi, then there was no CP3. Hey man, now no Fox, man. I'm just saying, I'm very, very worried, man. You know, I'm very, very worried. So
in the first round, that's crazy.
You know, people are saying help's on the way, so I'm here for it. But as a Kings fan, I'm definitely worried.
Kevin, I just want to ask real quickly, just a quick.
Davion Mitchell dropping 35 and 10. Fuck y'all talking about.
I love the confidence, Jaevon. Kevin, I just want to ask you real quickly as an aside. Do you understand a little bit more now why 49ers fans feel like the Eagles didn't legitimately win the game? Because it's kind of the same scenario.
You on that one, Kev. I ain't gonna lie.
Not at all.
No, it's not.
Hold on, let me break it down for you. Did all three of us watch that Niners or not the Niners game, the Golden State game, and say, "Damn, the Kings actually have a chance"?
What?
Going into that game before the kickoff started, not one person in here had faith that the Niners were going to win. I know you guys did, and I know you wanted to put money down, but
what's the question?
There's levels to this shit, man. There's levels to it. You know, Brock Purdy wasn't, you know, every Disney Channel movie has to come to an end. He's not Kurt Warner.
Okay.
Doesn't end with the Lombardi.
Gary, just for context, the question
I got it now.
Yeah. So okay, well, Kevin's going to remain cold-blooded on that one, but now you understand a little bit, and we were talking about this last week because there was the breaking news that Draymond Green had been suspended for Game 3 when we recorded last Tuesday. I was upset about that suspension because I thought if the Kings went on to win the series, then the Warriors fans, who are a majority of them are probably also 49ers fans, but all the Warriors fans, they would claim the same thing, where it's just like, you didn't actually beat us. Like you beat us without our star. Brock Purdy's not a star. The way that everyone in NFL media is talking about Brock Purdy and the way that they keep trying to push the narrative,
bro, he's
that
on the
he needs
NFL
to be
draft commercial. They put him on he's the head of the commercial. Don't matter where he's drafted. Mr. Irrelevant. Oh my God.
The narrative around Brock Purdy is a little much, but that's why 49ers fans felt jaded. And so, Jaevon,
quick
go ahead, Gary.
Thought about it, Shaun, real quick. They really just didn't. I bet you the Niner fan base is really split right now because they basically all are Kings fans and Warriors fans right now. So that's actually pretty. So that's a cool little dynamic. I know you guys probably are butting heads when y'all usually on the same team. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully y'all spread out this year during the NFL season and just start hating each other too.
Yeah, that's kind of how it was yesterday in San Francisco, where after the game, there were some Warriors fans who wanted to run their mouth to one of my friends, and I defended my friend, and I was just like let's act
Hold
like
on,
we've
yeah,
been
we
here
gotta
before.
hear this story. Go ahead, Shaun. Go ahead.
Well,
Hey, it was
basically,
a personal anecdote.
Basically, after the game, like I was a Class A fan, if I think so, and I will just say, I
vouch. I've seen Shaun at a game, sat next to him at a game, at a G League game, and my man be talking reckless. I ain't gonna lie, Vaughn, have you been to one of the game? He be reckless.
Hey man, Shaun, I've never been to a game with you, man. But when I saw the group chat, we're not gonna talk about what you brought in. But when I seen the group chat hit, I said, "Shaun's off all bullshit. Shaun is not playing.
He's out.
Shaun is not playing."
Anyways, go ahead, Shaun. I didn't say you're not
Shaun
one of
said,
Class
"Fuck a
A
$20
fans,
beer."
but I know you were having fun talking shit, probably.
Okay, so let me just say real quickly
Maybe you were
that
nervous because
I was no, not at all. I was amazed at how kind and friendly all of the Chase Center staff were. Like when my friends and I walked in, the four of us, immediately we get greeted by
Golden One staff ain't good enough for you.
Y'all get shot.
Let's move on. Anything I say is going to be twisted and dissected, and I can't even say what you guys want to hear.
Let's move on. I'm messing with you. Go ahead.
We're here for you.
Well, Gary, my point is that I had never really gone to many away games for my teams, except for like in college, right? And so I was just amazed because they were just so kind and friendly. And like every single time that we like passed someone, they were like, "Welcome to the Chase Center. Enjoy the game." And they were just super nice and friendly, like overly nice. I was just impressed. I was impressed by how kind they were to opposing fans. Getting to after the game. Okay, no, let's talk about during the game because Gary wants to accuse me of things after going to one G League game with me. During the game, I was right alongside my friend Justin, and every single bucket we were going crazy, clapping. I was yelling at Keegan. I was like, "Hell yeah, Keeg, let's go!" But each time that the Warriors scored, they got super loud and they matched our energy. That's part of going to a sporting event. After the game, after we lost, like because I was jawing back and forth with a couple of Warriors fans, but it was all nice and it was nice and friendly. It was respectful. Because I'm always going to be respectful first and foremost until someone disrespects me, and then I'll flip. Or I won't flip, but I'll flip the switch, and the Gemini in me will come out where you see the other side of Shaun. But the thing is it was all in the arena. It was all very pleasant. After we lost, Harrison Barnes missed the game winner, and I reached over and I shook the hand of multiple Warriors fans. I just said, "Great game. It was a good one." And we left the arena. What happened after the game is we were just trying to walk away, and Anthony Davis looks like he's hurt again.
No.
But keep in mind, Jaevon, I'm also probably like a minute behind everyone else. So, but anyways, so after the game, my friends and I, we were walking back to our car through San Francisco, and Warriors fans, they're just running their mouth and they're just talking a lot of shit to us. And they start talking to my friend who came to the game without any Kings merch on. And so he borrowed our friend Colin's jacket. And he was wearing his jacket throughout the game to wear Kings gear. It was very hot after the game. And this was a jacket that was made for like 40-degree weather. So my friend Justin was carrying his jacket alongside him. And the guy behind him is talking shit. And he's like, "You see these Kings fans? They're already ripping off their merchandise. They don't even want to wear it anymore. They're just so ashamed. Dubs did it to them. Da 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 da." And it was super
it does look bad.
And so, so I turned around and I just said, "Really? Let's act like we've been here before. You guys have a dynasty and you guys are acting like you just won your first playoff game in 17 years. Even when we won our first playoff game in 17 years, we weren't yelling at the Warriors fans that were at Golden One Center. We weren't screaming in their face like the beam. No, if they wanted to engage, I wasn't. I can't speak for the other 17,000 plus, but I wasn't because, like I said, I try to be respectful until I'm being disrespected. And so I didn't like the way that he talked to Justin. And like, I'm not a fighter, but I'm also not going to let someone disrespect me or my friends. So I turned around and I just talked back to him, and I kind of shut the guy up because he was like, "Oh, we have been here before." I'm like, "Then let's fucking act like it because right now you're acting like a child." And then the long story short, and how this related to Gary, you mentioning 49ers fans are split between the Kings and the Lakers. One of the main guys who I was talking shit to, at the end, it was very cordial, and we said our goodbyes as we went separate ways. But I said to the guy, because he was wearing an A's hat, and I said to the guy, I'm an A's fan, so I get it, and I'm really upset about it too. And it was just an example of how our basketball teams are differing, but we have the same favorite teams for others. And so you're right that it is a lot of fan bases that are split right now.
Y'all remember when Marcus Peters went up to the fan and to the fan was talking shit? That's what I imagine what Shaun was doing to that fan. He was like,
Shaun don't play none of that shit.
I know he told us to PG Star. I want to hear one of your other friends how they seen what you did now.
Yeah, we gotta hear. We gotta have people on the show and be like, so what happened?
Call him up.
What
Call him up.
No,
Bad me, Shaun. I'll be on my hot shit at games.
Yeah.
Well, see, and I was having fun throughout the game, and like I was cheering like crazy, but I just, you never know who you're running your mouth to, because I like to run my mouth, but I don't want to run my mouth too much and then just get hit with a sucker punch. And so like I try to be respectful.
There have been
like,
Kings and Warriors fans fighting.
I saw that on Twitter, bro.
I saw that after
that.
Thought that was Shaun.
Kings fans. Oh, shut up. Kings fans. They handled. Kings fans handled their shit. And so, anyways, let's just get back to De'Aaron Fox now, guys. We got our thoughts from Garry and Kevin on this, and Jaevon, we got your trolling thoughts, but genuinely just looking at it as a basketball fan, and you try to claim that you're a Kings fan half the season, and so in your half fandom, what's your level of concern for the Kings closing out the series? Because Jaevon, you were the only one of us who actually picked the Warriors to win this series, and so your facial expression looks like you're very concerned. It's like the emoji with the teeth out.
How are you going to replace 30 points a game?
You won't have to, because he's going to play.
Where is that coming from? Hey, that's what I said. So that's why I came out and I said when Shams said he's doubtful, that he didn't rule him out. He would have said out for the year, it's over, scratch our hands with it. So De'Aaron's going to try and go. I think he's going to try and play. Will he be 100%? I don't know. Like I said, the injury happened in the third quarter, so he still had 38 points and had a chance to kind of close the game out.
He had 24 in the first, though, didn't he? The first half.
21 in the first half, I think.
Yeah,
21. So yeah, he did have a great second half too.
He had a fourth quarter Fox is a real thing.
That big three didn't look like it was broken.
I think
just lost our host, y'all.
I think De'Aaron Fox, if he's able to play, something's just telling me that he might be able to go, but I'm not 100% that he's going to play. I remember when Trey Lance he like broke his finger or something like that. He was out for it was like his throwing finger, or it was on his throwing hand. He was out for like however many weeks, like 3 weeks or something like that. So, like I said, it's not football, it's basketball. Is he going to be able to shoot the ball? He's going to try it's going to be a game time thing. It's going to come all the way down to no one's going to know the entire day. But between the Kings facility and all of those things, no one's going to know besides those guys if De'Aaron Fox is going to play. If he's going to play, Kings got a shot to go up 3-2. Now, could this injury get worse if he does play? I'm not sure. But this is the first time the Kings have been in the playoffs since how many years, guys?
17.
So, I would imagine De'Aaron Fox plays. If he plays, Kings got a shot to win the series. If he doesn't, Warriors in 6.
So my level of concern is definitely a 10 out of 10 because, like Jaevon was saying, how
Sacramento's concerned. The city of Sacramento, the mayor, everybody is concerned.
Everybody besides Toddy.
Yeah. So.
And De'Aaron, I just want you to know that I have a right index finger right here. It's very healthy. It may be a little discolored, but
let me give it to you. I don't need it.
It's available, De'Aaron, if you want it. Gary can't donate his finger because he fucked it up playing basketball too. But De'Aaron, I have a right index finger that works. The tip of it is all right. If you want to take my finger, please do. At the end of the day, it would be worth it. Actually, I don't know if I'd say that, but anyways. So now, guys, let's get to the actual series itself. So the Kings and the Warriors are tied 2-2 as both teams have held down their home court. Last week, when the Kings were up 2-0, I was asking, will the Kings sweep? I don't think any of us said that they would actually sweep, but it's not encouraging seeing the Kings lose back-to-back games. And so, Kevin, how are you feeling now after 4? Because now it has become a best-of-3 series.
Man, game 3 was a hard one to watch, man. Like Gary mentioned earlier, without Draymond Green, that was the perfect time for the Kings to really jump on the Warriors' throat and kind of put this series to bed. But I'm not going to really recap that much because we all watched it. Just to give you a quick stat, we shot 23% from the 3 and 38% from the field. So it was just a long shooting night for us. But game 4, the gods have listened, man. I've been praying for a Keegan Murray sighting. I've been praying for one. And he's there. He wasn't just up there running up and down getting cardio. For him to come in and have one of his games, and just in the first half alone, finished with 15 points, 6 of 8 from the field. So for him to come in and have that impact, now we're just waiting on a Kevin Huerter sighting, and the whole team Kings would be here. But for us to have 5 turnovers that whole game and going into the fourth quarter and getting 5 alone really hurt us deep down in that run. I believe we're better off just probably going off that live rebound stop instead of calling a timeout. For Mike Brown to be coach of the year, I was expecting him to draw something up for us, but for us to call a timeout just to call a pick and roll with De'Aaron Fox and Harrison Barnes, we probably would have had better momentum just getting off the live rebound. De'Aaron Fox has won us 3 games on last second shots. I would have rathered him just go and see if we can get all the way to the cup. That's what we've been preaching this whole series is, getting up and down with the Warriors because their defense. So I feel like off that live rebound, we had the momentum off the stop. We would have been better off just attacking them instead of letting their defense set up because, like you guys all saw, Draymond Green knew De'Aaron Fox wanted to go left, get to that left elbow, and he stood right there the whole time. So if we would have had a better chance of just running off the rebound, in my opinion.
I do think that that's a great point, but and it is important to mention how many game winners De'Aaron has made in his career. And Kevin, that's also a great point because, like you said, that allows the Warriors to set their defense and for Draymond to key in on the exact spot that he knows that Fox loves to go to every single time. And as Draymond said after the game to the media and on his own podcast, De'Aaron Fox is the clutch player of the year. He's the one guy that I'm not going to let take the last shot. And so we saw Harrison Barnes take that last shot, Gary, and Harrison Barnes missed. But we have seen Harrison Barnes hit game winners for the Sacramento Kings during his tenure in Sacramento. He had that game winner in the COVID season when he hit that turnaround 3-point shot. That was a bit of a fadeaway against the Cleveland Cavaliers in March of 2021. And that was the all-female and non-binary crew that they had on NBC Sports that night. I remember that game very vividly. But then he also had that game winner that he hit against Phoenix. And I think that was at the beginning of this season, if I remember correctly. And so Harrison Barnes has proven that he is very capable. But, Gary, how did you feel about games 3 and 4? But let's focus on Harrison Barnes taking that last shot first.
I would say if we're going to focus on Harrison Barnes' shot real quick, to be honest with you, I'm not mad, Kevin, at all with the shot. I know we would obviously love seeing Fox getting downhill in any which way and pull up the midi, but like Coach said in the post game, they call that timeout just to get more flat, like they do with like John Morant and people with speed. And LeBron have done this when they made the game winner against Paul George back in the day when he was on Miami. Flat it out, let him get some head of steam and come down at you. And De'Aaron Fox, see HB came up to give him a pick and roll. Draymond, like you said, standing right there, and hey, Fox made the right play. And like you guys said, I'm gonna take that shot from Harrison Barnes 10 times out of 10. He's been shooting it all year. He's been shooting that shot all year. I know everyone said maybe he should have drove, maybe he could have cut back door. There's a lot of he say, she say moments after these type of situations. Obviously, we want Fox to take the last shot no matter what, but hey, trust your teammates. I'm just glad it was a good look. Hey, and if it goes in, I was literally jumping in the air ready to like explode, and it didn't go in, and I fell straight to the ground. So it's it's a very you don't even know. You literally don't even know. If this shot goes in, you can leave. If you want to go look back, like half that's Draymond's last game at home. Half that's the Warriors' end of their dynasty. There's so many what ifs that if he hits that shot, we come back home and finish them, But hey, I took a step after my pain last night, guys. After I was, really hurt after this game, Haven't felt this pain in a while. I'm just loving the Kings this year. I will say, stepping back, looking back, I know, Kevin, it looks bad going into Game 5. Just the momentum is not, they won 2 games back-to-back. So the momentum obviously shifted their way. But people told me we're going 2-2 again, back home to Game 5 against the defending champs, and I picked the slug fight. I remember picking this is going to be a Game 7 in Kings. We're going to win it. I'm just going to stick with my pick. So can't be mad at it. Like you said, we're going back home. Warriors haven't played good at home, and they're going to try to piece one up against us. But I think that, like you said, I chalk Game 3 up to straight Heart of Champions, guys. There's no way they're going down 3-0. There was no way they're going down 3-0. They're Heart of the Champions. I don't care who was playing. As long as Steph Curry was on that floor, I don't think our team was we're pretty evenly matched. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't say that as long as Steph Curry was on the floor, I don't think he was allowing his team to go down 3-0 and have a potentially be getting swept or anything like that. So, hey, it's going how it should go, guys. It should be going back and forth. It's a battle of the North. And I still believe. I think we just got to tighten some things up. We see one, like you said, Keegan Murray sighting. I expect to see a lot more coming back home. And we had a chance at that game, guys. We had a chance, and today it's sad to say too. This is the truth about it, man. Literally, our experience showed, our inexperience in playoff showed at the down stretch in certain moments, and it's a hard truth to say. But hey, learning experience for this team, it's gonna push forward, and also we can take another step back if we realistically lose this series, which we don't need to talk about just yet or anything.
Nope. That's not even.
I'm not gonna even say it. I'm not gonna say it.
Don't even bring it up. Don't put it down. Don't put it out there.
Because I don't feel like we're being a little dramatic. Like teams take steps, So we took our first step already this season, but obviously we want to climb a couple more steps more. And I think we got a great opportunity because it's 2-2, guys. Let's go. Best of 3. And I think we got a good chance because 2 of those games are at home. So I think we got a great chance.
To quick, let me get this out here, Shaun. To double down on what Gary and Shaun were saying about Harrison Barnes, since they've been keeping the clutch shot chart since the 96-97 season, Harrison Barnes is 7 of 16 in his career.
Woo!
So
that's fucking
that
good.
That was a hell of a shot. There's no one better to shoot that shot. So, we're gonna rock with HB.
Kev's always bringing the great stats here to Stats Over Politics, episode number 26. I'm Shaun Holko alongside Kevin Dent, Gary Singh, Jaevon Toddy. Toddy, you picked the Warriors to win this series in 6 games. So do you think that they're going to end up completing the reverse sweep that a lot of Golden State fans have been calling since their Game 3 win, where the Kings win the first 2 and then the Warriors take the next 4? Does that end up happening, Jaevon?
Well, I hope I'm wrong. I root for the Kings. I like the beam. I root for you guys, but sometimes you got to go with what your head is telling you versus your heart. Sometimes that's kind of what
you told us earlier.
Just how the Warriors kind of came out and just slapped up the Kings, and Game 3 kind of made it look easy.
Not really. They didn't win. They never went up by 20. It was up by 10 the whole game.
The Kings couldn't hit a shot.
Yeah.
Exactly. Come on now.
They
Go ahead, Jaevon.
Heart of Champions. That's what Heart of Champions.
That's what happens. They responded. Game 4 was definitely the game that I was like, all right, this is kind of what I expected in Game 3. But like you guys said, that Kings weren't really hitting their shots. If you kind of look at the numbers, the shooting percentages were kind of similar. Warriors weren't really hitting their shots as much. But it all kind of translated in Game 4. Keegan Murray got going. He's the guy that I've had an APB out the entire series. Kind of not really. Mike Brown is kind of
rookie should not be having APBs out.
Hey, he rookie of the year.
I don't want to hear that rookie shit.
Hey, I said,
oh man,
it's time to play.
I understand what Mike Brown's saying. He's a rookie. Yeah, he's getting playoff minutes. He's a different level, but he's still a rook.
Gary, he played 30-something minutes and shot the ball twice. He ain't done it all season.
Yeah, okay. I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that with you. Like when the shot, he needs to take a shot. But I don't blame if he's missing shots, it's just because I'm like, all right, it's all good. He's missing shots, But I agree with you that right there.
He's not the only one.
He should be taking shots.
Though. Kevin Herter has been playing like dog water all series. Where has he been? Where's Kevin?
Have me screaming on my TV like, "What are you doing, Kevin?" I'm like, "Damn, that sounded weird."
Yeah, man. I'm asking. I'm trying to figure out where he's been. Malik Monk has kind of been the guy. Like, all right, I'm the best player.
Well, if you watch a team all year, you know that third guy is always rotational guys. These guys are not supposed to come up every game. It's supposed to be one guy.
Alex Lynn's been playing good, and he ain't been playing all year. So I mean, the rotation has kind of just been. So it's just kind of been all right. Who's going to be able to get the guys going in this series, matchups wise? I get it. Kevin Huerter he's been afraid to shoot the ball just because he hasn't really been hitting his shots. His corner threes have not been falling. Malik Monk has kind of been the guy. Trey Lyles is kind of the guy. Like, all right, he's hitting his shots. Even Terrence Davis has been a guy that's kind of been like, all right, we've seen him kind of come in. So Kings need shot making because the Warriors are going. If they're not going to do anything, they're going to hit their threes. You'll see the Kings will kind of come down, have a great possession, and then all of a sudden Klay Thompson hits a three. Damn. Kings miss, come down. Steph Curry takes three. Yeah.
What happened? Are you out? Did he fall out, Jaevon? I guess he fell out. Okay.
Hell yeah. Enough.
Alrighty. Yeah, and so the one thing I will say is that if Harrison Barnes did hit that shot, that is when I truly would have been acting a fool. I would have been going nuts. I would have been going nuts. That's a fact. Jaevon, are you back with us?
I just wish De'Aaron Fox would have took the last shot. I don't care if he's double teamed. He did get stripped though, but I would have been.
Should never called a timeout, Toddy.
I would have been fine with him.
Timeout. They needed to get. They just had a couple bad possessions, Kev. You could tell they were rushing things.
He called a timeout to call a pick and roll.
Kevin,
he didn't call a pick and roll. They just called it a flat play. He's got ISO. He could have done anything. He could have done anything.
3 times. You guys had 3 chances within
no 1,000%. Our inexperience in the playoff show.
Where they turned the ball over. Malik Monk's going down trying to take 2 guys on.
He was trying to force a call, which is not going to get called in the fourth quarter of a playoff game against the Warriors.
You guys had
you know what I'm saying?
To take the league.
I think they're gonna be more mindful. I think they're getting woken. We gotta get experience, guys. We ain't got no experience. Like, let's be honest now. If it wasn't our Kings, we would be saying these guys are getting slapped with experience right now, and we are. And we're trying to get. It's so tough because we're a good team. We should be able to beat this team because we're so close. So hopefully, we try to get those experience and wins, but hopefully it breaks our way at home. I think so, guys. I think we're gonna break away. Maybe I'm having too much belief here, but I think we're gonna break. I think it's gonna break our way. We're gonna hit some shots. I think like Vontae, it might be a Kevin Huerter game. So but it's like the time is ticking. So we got a Murray game. We've already been getting Fox. We haven't had a great Sabonis game, but we have a solid Sabonis game. We're waiting for a Barnes game. We're waiting for, I feel we got at least one more guy in there. Who's going to be that guy? We already got a Monk game. Like, I know you got to, what I'm saying? That third guy, this guy's going to be, he's been rotational all year. So, and they know that too, I feel. So, we're going to see whose good turn is going to be this next game.
Damn all what you just said. The real thing is De'Aaron Fox playing? That's just everything.
Yes, he's playing, but he's going to be limited.
Shaun, is he playing? Do you know he's playing?
I think so.
I think he's playing, bro. I have no information.
I have no. Jaevon got a choice.
Well, obviously,
17 years.
Oh, let's be honest. If he's not playing, then we're in a heap of trouble. Put a L on our face tomorrow. But I'm assuming that he's playing because it's a finger and it's a playoff game.
And let's not forget the context. Let's not forget the context.
Put that on TikTok.
Let's not forget the context too. That Domantas Sabonis has been playing through something kind of similar. It's a thumb and it's a ligament in his thumb, and so it's
wrist or something. Yeah,
it's completely different, but completely different. Similar. It's completely different, as I just said. It's completely different, but it's similar. It's similar, Gary, because they're on the hand.
Yeah.
After Fox hit a 3, you're gonna go like this.
So, and then Warriors fans are going to go crazy and they're going to say that it was all like Warrior fans were already saying today that it was some big conspiracy that De'Aaron Fox didn't actually get hurt and that the Kings are just putting this news out there to make the Warriors game plan as if Fox won't be there or like Fox will be limited and then Fox is going to play and he's going to drop 40. That's what Dub Nation is saying right now.
I don't think they're going to change their game plan at all. They're gonna assume he plays, and if he doesn't, that's just one check off the mark.
Or they pull the
doubling
Grizzlies
up everywhere else,
and they play better without De'Aaron Fox. Who knows? The Grizzlies played great without John Morant.
Yeah, but that was last season. Not so much this season. That was last season. That was last season.
I
That
don't
was
think
last
no
season.
team is better without their
They
superstar.
didn't,
I don't
Sean,
care.
they didn't just win
Well,
a playoff game without John Morant.
I'm sorry. Yes, correct. I thought you were talking about overall how they're better. Yes, because of Xavier Tillman, the Grizzlies won a playoff game without John Morant. That's an
Always
anomaly.
disappointing.
Is Xavier Tillman up? Ja just got hit on the wrist again. Is Xavier Tillman going to do that again? No, unlikely. The one we gotta keep it moving because we got plenty of other topics to get to. But the last thing that I wanted to say to wrap it up here is that the one thing none of us have mentioned until now is that the only reason why the Kings even had a shot to win that game with the Barnes 3 at the buzzer is because Stephen Curry had a Chris Webber moment when he called a timeout and they didn't have a timeout. But I mean, according to Draymond Green, he was the one who was at fault because Draymond said, "Oh, I should have. Number one, I should have been trailing behind Steph. So if he gets trapped, he can dump it off to me. Number two, I should have been letting everyone know that we didn't have any timeouts." So Draymond took full responsibility for it. I think Draymond's just trying to take fault for all of the Warriors' mistakes, so then he can say like, "Blame me. It's okay. I'll be the scapegoat. Just blame me. Take the pressure off Steph. Just blame me."
Real leadership. What else?
Yeah, and I think that De'Aaron Fox will play, and I think that the Kings still win this series in 7 games. Even last week when they were up 2-0.
Is this Kings fan Shaun talking, or is this journalism Shaun talking? This is Kings fan Shaun talking.
No, this is 2020 Sac State grad who majored in journalism, minored in communication.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm trying to do this for a career, Jaevon. So I do have my moments where I definitely am a homer.
It's valid to ask.
No, it is 100%. But I picked the Kings to win. If I was going to be a homer, I would have picked the Kings to win this series in 6 or 5.
Ooh.
But I had it go in 7. Like we have 7 people tuning in right now. We appreciate all of you who are locked in. Make sure to give us a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. But I picked the Kings to win this series in 7 games because of my respect for the Golden State Warriors. And just to let the record show, because of the notepad, Gary and I both picked the Kings to win in 7. Kevin picked the Kings to win in 6. Jaevon picked the Warriors to win in 6. And Emiliano, my friend who joined us, he picked the Kings to win in 6.
7 or 6. He did say 6. That's right.
So we shall see how that all turns out.
That's the 3.
Now, guys,
and real quick, Shaun, you're right. That whole Stephen Curry play now is washed away, and it will not be a taint on the resume.
Damn.
Congrats to Curry on that.
Because think about it. If the Warriors lose that game, they go down 3-1. They likely lose the series. And if that ultimately is the end of the Warriors dynasty, everyone would be pointing their fingers at that moment. Everyone would be pointing their fingers at that moment and saying this was the moment that the Warriors dynasty ended.
30 for 30.
Stephen Curry.
You got what I'm saying, kid, Shaun. You got what I'm saying.
It's okay. Yep. And I sure do. And so now, guys, let's keep it moving because we got plenty of other topics to get to. But we are a podcast, or 3 of us who are based in Sacramento. Kevin is a diehard Sacramento Kings fan. And so we had to take the time to talk about the Sacramento Kings and give them their due. And so now, guys, let's move through the rest of these NBA playoffs first-round matchups. And let's get to the last one that we haven't talked about in the Western Conference as the 4-seed Suns. Oops, I put the wrong seed on the Clippers, so let me fix that real quick. The Suns currently lead the Clippers 3-1 as Kawhi Leonard. He has been missing in action once again. Load management has made its way to the playoffs. I know he's not actually load managing. He's legitimately hurt. But, I mean, when that narrative is constantly following you and now you are in the moment
wolf.
that, I mean, he is literally in the moment now that he sits out all year for. And now he's out. And because he's out, Paul George is out. Russell Westbrook can only do so much. And the Suns currently lead the Clippers 3-1 after the Suns have won both games in LA. The Suns have won 3 games in a row after Kawhi Leonard stole game 1 for the Clippers. And so, Jaevon, I'm going to throw it to you first on this one. What are your quick thoughts on Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers looking like they're about to get bounced?
Hey, man, check the notepad. I think I had the Suns in 5, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, man, Russ has been going bonkers the entire
You did. Can confirm.
Hey.
How about me and Kev?
Let's
Gary, you had the Suns in 6. Kevin had the Suns in 6. Emiliano had the Suns in 5. I had the Suns in 4. So I was wrong. Thank you, Kawhi Leonard. Yeah. So go ahead, Jaevon. So you had the Suns in 5, and it's looking like it's about to hit right now.
Kawhi Leonard, what do the Clippers do, man? The guy's always hurt. They're traps. You can't
Trade him.
Who wants him?
Someone would take a flyer.
I got the superstar. He's gonna play 40 games, 40 to 50 games a year. He's gonna take every other game off. He may or may not be healthy for the playoffs, but he's gonna give you 27 when he plays. 27 a game when he plays. Who's paying for that? I mean, who's trading for that? I mean, he has a history. How many games he plays? Like, he's gonna play like around 40. He'll miss a year. I mean, when they were in the playoffs, I mean, he's out. It's just a knee sprain. He's coming back. He's coming back. Oh no,
trade him.
We're pushing him out. He's out for game 6. He has a slight tear in his ACL. What the hell are we talking about here? You just said that he had a knee soreness. So this is the same knee that's kind of been bothering him since I don't even know how
last season, right? This same thing happened last season, and
man,
that partially torn ACL is what knocked him out of the rest of the playoffs, right?
And
I remember that correctly.
The other guy we paired him with, he's hurt too. So it's kind of just like
frustrating.
They load managed like
Mr. Parental Guidance 13. Sorry, go ahead, Jaevon.
They load manage, so it's kind of like, all right, do I trade Paul George? Do I trade Kawhi? Because both of them are hurt. They're both in a low manage. So it's like, what? You're kind of stuck here if you're a Clippers fan. It's very frustrating because when Kawhi's on, we saw that he can have a 40-point game in the playoffs against a Kevin Durant, Devin Booker Suns team and win in hostile territory. So like Gary said, there's probably going to be a sucker out there that probably takes a flyer on this guy. And what's going to be different if he gets traded? He's like, hey, I'm going to come in. I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to play 60 games or I'm going to play 40 games. I'm going to load manage. But, hey, I'll be ready for the playoffs. But are you, though? Are you? I saw Stephen A. say on First Take that he's the worst superstar ever. I thought that was a bit of a stretch because, I mean, the guy does have 2 championships, 2 finals MVPs. So he's shown a different way that it can be done, but it's frustrating as an owner. It's frustrating as a teammate, a coach. Like, are you playing? Like, what's going on? Like, we're ready to go. So, I mean, injuries are part of the game, but it's very consistent with Kawhi Leonard. Like, hey, when you bring up Kawhi Leonard, yes, he's a great player, but it's like, hey, is he playing? Is Kawhi playing? That's just one of the things that you always bring up is Kawhi playing today because we don't know. So,
Kevin, what are your thoughts on this one? Because you did have, I think I read that correctly, you had the Suns winning this series in 6 games. And so do you think that they're going to do one game shorter and finish it in 5?
Yeah, I mean, without Kawhi, like Tyler was mentioning, man, it's really hard for them to compete, and Paul George still isn't going to be ready. So it's going to be hard.
Suns are -12 favorites, by the way, from a gambling perspective. So they're heavy favorites to win game 5.
So I just got some quick stats, on the stat guy. So since the Clippers have had Kawhi and Paul George on the team, when they're both playing, their record is 24-14. When it's just Kawhi, they're 10-6. When it's just Paul George, they're 26-23. And when neither of them play, they are 27-36.
That's a lot of games.
I bet
a lot of games.
That's like 70. That's like 60 games. What are you talking about?
In hindsight is 2020, but it's hilarious how in hindsight, the Clippers at the time, they didn't want to trade Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but they knew that they had to, along with 3 first-round picks to get Paul George in LA. Shai and Kawhi would have been a nice duo, but Kawhi would have had to wait for him to develop, and he didn't want to do that. But yet here we are now, and it's 3 years later, and the Clippers have nothing to show for it but a Western Conference Finals appearance, which, yeah, that's great. They made their first Western Conference Finals appearance in franchise history, but they have nothing to show for it. And so I do think that the Suns are going to end up closing this one out in 5. I was wrong. I thought they'd sweep. Now I think that they're going to finish it in 5 because without Paul George or Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers are cooked. What do you think, Gary?
You know what? This is a tough one. Before I get into the series itself, I do want to touch on the Kawhi thing since you guys, we're talking about that mainly. To be honest with you, it's a tough one because, man, I kind of feel what Stephen A is saying. I feel what Von's saying. It just looks like, man, you keep getting injured. You're not as communicating type person to the media, which is a superstar move. That's why Stephen A. said it sounded a great superstar, not say regular role player, superstar, like doing things for the franchise to promote the franchise, the league, the game, things of that nature. You just don't hear his voice enough, so it's kind of tough. I'm like, but then again, I feel like he's not a talker, so are we forcing someone? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of tough, and also same thing with the injury thing. It's like if he's not healthy, it's kind of hard for me to say, where are you at, where you've been playing. But then again, it's like a game where they talked about on, national TV where, we didn't see his injury. Maybe they pinpointed it out back now. Maybe, he said it has to happen on this play or something like that. But we didn't see him like we seen Paul George. And we see other players physically go down and go out the game. Like we've seen John Morant. We've seen playing times from Anthony Davis. We've seen them go down. And you say they're injury prone. But his thing, I feel like everyone's irritated because we're not seeing his injury, and he's always just out. So it's just like, then Vaughn goes through, how you're going through each day, the updates, and it looks just so weird and goofy. Then again, I also kind of see that as maybe them just not being private, him just not wanting to tell the whole media what's happening, just keeping it vague, and then it gets worse and worse. And it's like, who knows what's happening there? So it's like at this point, it's really, I know I usually hate the Clippers, but I'm just like, I feel bad for the fans looking like, man, we can't get a break on it. We're over here complaining about a Pinky from Fox, and they got 2 superstars out. Like, man, it's tough. And that's like not like this is not their first year that they've actually been through this. So that's why I think even though they're about to go to a new arena and they could, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are young, and in the sense of like they're not as in the sense of like, I don't know, they are young. I wouldn't say they're not done yet. So if you trade them, I feel like they're still gonna have some good years left on their bodies, even though time. If you keep compared everything to LeBron, then it looks like they got a long time. But you can't do that. So like, who knows when they'll be done? But they look like in terms of physical shape, they look obviously great. When they play, they still play great. So it's hard. Vaughn, I would trade them. I'm not gonna lie. I think I would just call this a wrap, and you can get some good value and rebuild this team real quick. You're in LA. You're going to a new stadium. You got this team, and this GM has been really good at putting some pieces around this team. Look how deep they are right now and getting being competitive. So I wouldn't be hesitant to trade him, but then again, it's hard to trade two superstars. And like Vaughn said, people are probably going to try to lowball you because they're going to say these guys don't play. So they're in a tough situation, but man, oh man, the Clippers are done next. You know what? No, I'm going to stick real quick. I'm going to stick with my pick. Going back to the series itself before Kev goes, I'm sticking with my pick. I'm going to keep him in 6. I still think Russell Westbrook is knocking at the door. Vaughn, I don't know if you really threw any. I don't know if anyone threw any stats out. You guys bring the stats up. We all know simply he's killing it. He's killing it. He's doing his thing. I love to see some respect and everyone kind of eat some crow on Russell Westbrook about how, he was been doing bad and things of that nature. He's showing off in the playoffs. He's making everyone better, trying to make best plays he can. So shout out to Russell Westbrook to show that he ain't done yet. And man, any team with this type, if you have heart in this game, no matter what, you can make something shake, even though at the end of the day, he's still not a great shooter. But hey, he's doing great things right now.
Russell Westbrook this playoffs has more points per game than LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Nikola Jokic, and Donovan Mitchell. I almost said Davion. He has more rebounds per game. He probably also has more points. Or no, he does have more points per game than Davion Mitchell too. He has more rebounds per game than Al Horford, Julius Randle, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Aaron Gordon. He has more assists per game than LeBron, Mike Conley, DeJounte Murray, who did get suspended for Game 5. We'll get to that. Or Darius Garland. And then he also has more blocks per game than Nick Claxton, Brooke Lopez, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Rudy Gobert. So Russell Westbrook has really been silencing all the doubters, and I love to see it. I texted my guy, Damian Barling, who is the biggest Russell Westbrook fan that I know. I texted him during that game, and I just said, man, like, I bet you love what you're seeing from Russ because he is just silencing the haters, and I'm happy for him because he deserves the respect, and he's a future Hall of Famer for a reason. He was an MVP for a reason, whether if you think he stat padded or not. And so it's going to be interesting as Jaevon will rejoin us in just a moment here on episode number 26 of Stats Over Politics. I'm Shaun Holko alongside my guys, Gary Singh, Kevin Dent, Jaevon Toddy will be rejoining us in just a moment. And I just wanted to ask everyone who's tuned in right now on YouTube, make sure to give us a like. We would really appreciate it as it helps us grow. If you like the show, then go even further. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications when we go live in case we change our recording schedule on on a week, just in case if there's a Kings game on a Monday night like there was last week. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Stats Over Politics and on Twitter at Stats or Politics, as you see on our streaming graphic. Make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on all podcast platforms. If you're enjoying the show, give us 5 stars. We'd really appreciate it. As now, guys, let's get to the Eastern Conference, as we have about 30 minutes left and we have so much to cover. That's poor time management on my part as the host, so I take fault for that. Now, let's get to the Eastern Conference playoffs as the Heat lead the Bucks 3-1, and Jimmy Butler dropped a franchise record 56 points for the Miami Heat tonight. And as Mama Toddy was saying earlier, Jimmy Butler was going off. I got to change the graphic here. But Jimmy Butler went off, and the 8th seed is leading the series of the number 1 seed in the East. Miami's up 3-1. Playoffs? Are you kidding me? I think that summed it up great by Tracy. And Jimmy Butler, he went off tonight. And that is a fact, as he dropped 56 points. Now it looks like the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, my Eastern Conference championship pick, the Milwaukee Bucks, are about to get bounced. And so, Jaevon, before you fall out of the stream once again, I just wanted to get your thoughts on this series.
You're muted?
He's not even muted. I think his mic isn't connected. Yeah, Jaevon, you're not even muted. So Jaevon will rejoin us in just a moment as he figures out his mic situation. And so, Kevin, what do you think of this series as the Heat lead the 1 seed Bucks 3-1?
Play off Jimmy, man. I was trying to tell you guys with the playing, man. I was calling him playing Jimmy. Jimmy Butler's built for these kind of games, man. With everything on the line, Giannis came back for Game 4. So they had everything to prove. They couldn't afford to go down 3-1. The Heat are not your usual 8 seed. They just had a lot of injuries out the year, and then it doesn't even throw in the fact that Tyler Hero went down Game 1 and broke his hand. So we got to see a rebirth of Duncan Robinson last game, and that was a nice sight to see, man. Come out there, hit a couple of threes, but this Heat team is nothing to play with, man, and definitely if they're able to close this out and move forward, the Heat can make some noise, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing how far the Heat can go.
Gary, what about you?
Man, you guys already know. You guys already hitting on it. I was watching that game while I'm trying to get ready to get on the pod real quick on the phone while I just got back from work. And man, oh man, Jimmy Butler. This guy right. If I'm any team in the league, I'm asking Miami, can we get this guy a part of a big 3? Can we bring him over? I don't care what type of flaws he has, whatever Timberwolves problem was, whatever the 76ers problem was with him, I don't know. The Chicago Bulls, whatever teams that he's left, they made a big mistake. He is man. Reggie Miller was saying something which could be. I could pick up a couple games before, but he was like, this could be a best Heat performance by a playoff individual performance. I could kind of see it, but also I could see LeBron James versus Celtics get 40 Game 6.
LeBron James never dropped 56 points in a playoff.
He never dropped 56. I'm not talking about if you want to.
Not for the Heat. No disrespect, Kevin.
No, he never dropped 56. You want to go by points, yeah, but I'm talking about value on a person's legacy and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? How much LeBron had that. We can go on to go. But anyways, I was just saying that shout out to Jimmy Butler for doing this, keeping this team alive. Because as I said before the series started, and as I've been seeing all this past year, Miami Heat struggle on offense. And Jimmy Butler had to pull this performance for them to really do this right here and create a 3-1 lead. And man, oh man, they're so lucky because if Giannis basically forced himself, I feel like, to play today, even though he had a solid stat line tonight, you could just tell probably I don't feel like he's been getting, I don't feel like he looks right, but with those type of injuries, what he had, I just feel like that it's hard to play in those injuries, but he's just a freak, as we know. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie, I'm sticking with my pick. I'm sticking with my finals pick to go to the finals. I know it's looking bad 3-1. I know, Kev, I know it's looking really bad at the moment, but I'm not going to be stuck in this moment right here. I feel like if we go back now, and I feel like they're going to go back to Miami now, right? So, yeah, but they'll go back to the Bucks, right? That's what I'm going back to the Bucks.
Milwaukee.
And I don't think they're going to get closed out Game 5 at home. I don't think Giannis letting that happen. I feel like they're going to be able to keep it going. And if they can steal Game 6, obviously then it'll go be a Game 7. But I feel like I got the Bucks in 7, y'all. I got the Bucks in 7. I know it doesn't look good right now what Jimmy did, but Jimmy's going to have to do that one more time. He's gonna have to do it one more time, like you just mentioned. Tyler Hero's out for the series. Where are they going to get that much offense from? So if if they keep doing whatever they do to get Giannis playing, I feel like they're going to be able to climb back in the series one game at a time. And if any team could do it, I think the Bucks are capable because they're a team that has a lot of minutes with their core guys, and they've been to a championship before, and they have been on deep runs, and they've had these demons with the Heat before they had to get over the hill. But this Miami Heat team has actually created a lot of problems for this Bucks squad, and they thought they really slayed the dragon, and they're gonna have to try to slay them again. So I think they're gonna be able to do it.
Jaevon, you're back with us. What do you think of this series?
Himmy Butler, man, he's a motherfucker.
Himmy Butler.
It's crazy what he does in the regular. It's crazy what he does in the playoffs versus what he does. In the regular season,
virtually nothing in the regular season.
I think Giannis came back. Giannis came back a little too late. The game that they kind of dropped in game one was kind of like, all right, Giannis is hurt. He'll come back game two. Giannis, they blow him out without Giannis. Like, okay, cool. So Giannis come back game three. Nah, he's not coming back. They lose again. So it's like, all right, we're down 2-1. Where's the sense of urgency here? Is Giannis coming back game 4? I didn't think he was coming back tonight. He comes back, all right, cool. And then he does, like I said earlier in the podcast, he does a baseline dunk. Favorites to win the title. They're gonna win it all. Giannis is dunking. Have no fear, guys. It's okay. Hold on. Jimmy Butler's like, hold on. I got 22 in the first quarter, which would be the rest of the team has. We have 28 points and I have 22 points. The rest of the team has 6 points.
Man,
all right.
Cooking.
So they're kind of just battling back and forth. Right before this podcast, I gamble. I had somebody on the Heat, so I'm trying to, squeeze in every inch. And then all of a sudden, Jimmy Butler, they're down 3 points. Jimmy hits a 3. Like, what's going on? The game is tied. There's no way, because the Bucks were controlling that game, the most of the game. So, Middleton. Middleton wasn't hurt last year. They're going to the finals and winning.
Money Middleton.
Okay. Money Middleton's back, and Middleton, what's going on here? Like, Middleton's playing. How many points Middleton have? Like 12, 15. Now I get he tore his ACL.
To care.
14.
Hey,
enough to care.
2 points off. I guess Middleton, he's supposed to be the second All-Star. Like, hey man, like, I get it. Like, players coming off of an ACL injury, I usually say they're better in their second years. I say that for Klay Thompson last year. Klay Thompson last year coming off those 2 gruesome injuries. It's going to take some time for him to kind of get back into it, but they won the finals. So, shit. So, Chris Middleton, I don't know.
He doesn't want to acknowledge you, Kevin. Or either that or he froze.
So, like I'm saying, the Bucks are
Jaevon, are you?
The Bucks are down 3-1.
there?
So it's kind of just like.
Go ahead.
You can hear me?
I got you. I got you. It just lagged for a moment when Kevin asked you who the Warriors beat in the finals last year.
I have no idea. No idea who they beat. They just went to the finals, played whatever team that was in the finals.
The green
wasn't
team.
The goddamn Celtics, I'll tell you that. Wasn't the Celtics, because I don't know who that team was in 6 games. But ultimately, it's like, all right, Giannis was hurt multiple games in the series. Those games are kind of coming back to catch up to him. So now they're like, all right, it's 3-1. It's not over yet. LeBron came back down for 3-1. I was like, they're like, there's only a few teams that have kind of done that. So it's like, are the Bucks? I think the Bucks are done. I think it's over. This was the game. This was a must-win game for the Bucks, and they kind of fumbled that. So,
and that's exactly why Giannis Antetokounmpo played in this game, is because of how much of a must-win it was potentially. Gary, go ahead and close us out.
No, I was just going to say real quick before we close out here on this one that it's kind of weird. Like, even though it's an A1 matchup, like we've been mentioning, a lot of these seeds, a lot of these teams, I think, especially in the West, I don't like how everyone says the West sucks or whatever they say. I just think they're all just so good. They're all so jam tight that's why they're knocking off wins and losses. That's why it's so close. So I feel like it's crazy that they do win this series. It was a 1-8. But it never felt like a 1-8. Like a lot of these series, we're looking at the Warriors series. If they win, if like the Lakers series they win, you know what I'm saying? Like these series are low seeds. It might be like the most low seeded like winning percentage first round matchup. I bet you if all these teams do end up winning. So it's kind of crazy that like that's even happening. But because usually back in the day, you would see this would be 1-8 matchup usually ends up in a sweep a lot of the times, or like a gentleman's sweep. So it's crazy how it's kind of flipped. But it just shows I feel like this league is deep and anyone can be anyone. It's starting to get to that point if you have at least a couple of superstars on your team. And if you got one like Jimmy Butler, you can go pretty far.
And we didn't make any official predictions for the dope pad on this one, just because the Heat were in the play-in. But even ahead of this series, I would have probably picked the Bucks to advance in 5 games, and so now that is impossible.
We all
we all would have most likely, but Giannis.
We all would have, because I think everyone had the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. So
I believe that is correct, Gary. Thank you for remembering that, and that is correct that we all had the Bucks in the Eastern Conference.
I had them in the chip. I'm not gonna lie.
Every single one of us. I had them in the chip too, and I had them losing. Luckily, none of us had the Bucks actually winning the title this year, but Kevin, Gary, and myself all have them as the Eastern Conference champions. That will end up losing in the finals
because of Giannis's injury.
We will see. We will see if they are able to survive. Gary, just like you, I'm going to stick with my pick, and I'm going to pick the Bucks to win this series in 7. Okay, but it's looking extremely rough.
Hey, if any team could do it,
put some money on that
team, right? It's a championship team.
Hell no, Jaevon. You've taken enough of my money for this.
Giannis ain't LeBron. If it was LeBron, I'd put money down.
Oh, God.
All right, guys, we got to keep it moving. So now let's get to Jaevon's favorite team, and that is the Celtics leading the Hawks 3-1 in this 2 versus 7 matchup. And DeJounte Murray, as I mentioned earlier, he is suspended for Game 5.
Get him out of here.
Contact with an official at the end of Game 4. He basically shoulder bumped him, and that is what has led to his suspension. So things aren't looking great for the Bucks. Jaevon, because we have about 20-ish minutes left, just give us your quick, concise thoughts on this series.
We're going to dust them off in Boston, man. It's going to be, hey, we going back to the finals. Hey, we getting out the first round. That's all I got to say, man. We getting out the first, It's looking real ugly, because I thought, Giannis, we'd see him on the other side, but, Joel hurt, Giannis out, and the Knicks are like, oh my God, we're going 3-1. I thought we was going to see the Cavs, man, but Donovan, out there struggling down 3-1, and, just, hey, we getting back. That's all I got to say. It's all according to my plan, as the notepad, man. What that notepad say? We going back. I didn't say we was going to win now. I didn't say we was winning, but I said we going back. So, I don't know, man. It's looking like we might be winning. We might be, taking what's rightfully ours, man. JDB, took the mask off in Game 5, had 30. JT, 31. I mean, when we're like 22 and like 3 when both of those guys go for 30. So I'm like, hey, man. So it's just,
Jaevon, do you see the second from bottom right there? That's you. You said that the Celtics were going to beat the Suns in the NBA finals.
Hey.
So let's not flip the script on us now. That's why the notepad don't lie.
That's what I thought I said. But hey,
I thought they won the championship.
Gotta have more faith.
You forgot that your championship pick. You forgot your championship pick, Vaughn. Come on, your championship.
Gotta have more faith. Gotta have faith. It's all right. But hey, man. So
she had a lot of faith.
I just think we're looking good. It's match made. That it's the Red Sea parted. We had a couple of part of winning a championship is injuries. You guys can all attest to that. Sometimes you need a timing. Luck has a lot to do with it. So luck, injuries, and how good is your team? Is your team healthy? You got all the guys in place. I mean, we got 2 all-NBA players on our team. So I mean, hey, we're looking good, man. We're going back to Boston. We're 12-point favorites going into the Game 5. I mean, we might blow them out by 20. So
the politicking is real. I didn't hear one stat.
Hey.
Go ahead, Kevin. Take the torch, please.
It's looking real good right now.
Hey man, like this is just like the Timberwolves series, man. I haven't tuned in to probably not one game. I was expecting this game to
Because he
go
knows.
nice and quick. I mean, I would hope you guys could beat the Hawks, but I mean, you guys let them get one. So you was in the group chat talking crazy, talking about the Kings lost by 50, and then Iron Strait had to hit you with one of these. So you never know. No DeJounte. I mean, Strait can shoot the ball all he won't.
Yeah, he getting all the shots, right? He's shooting 40 times the next game. Trey's getting everything up. You might see Trey drop 40. He's going to have like 50 shots.
And something I wanted to say real quickly, circling back to the last series, because I didn't get a chance to mention this, and it was too good of a stat for me to pass on, is that Jimmy Butler, Gary, you were talking about Jimmy Butler versus the greatest LeBron game ever. Jimmy Butler's 56 points is the most points. Thank you. So did Alonzo Mourning. So did a lot of great players and Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal played in Miami. I mean,
that's all I was saying. Like, I don't know if it jumped to that conclusion, but it's up there probably now.
Well, Jimmy Butler's 56 points is the most in playoff history on 30 or less field goal attempts. He put up 29 field goal attempts. That's the most points ever on 30
So you say it's the best one?
Attempts.
LeBron had 52 in the finals game. What you mean?
Yeah, and I think LeBron James, off the top of my head, even Dwayne Wade in the finals, Game 6 against Dallas in 2006 when he won his first ring, had to go fourth quarter mode and won that series too. So, and in the finals. So, yeah, you can go by points. If you want points, obviously it's the record. So, yeah, he's the most points. But I'm putting a little more other stuff like situation, where you at, what the person, who is the person. That's why I was a little more incorporating before Reggie Miller just wanted to be on broadcast mode.
Yeah, and so now I'm sorry for that quick tangent. Now, please give us your thoughts on this Celtics and Hawks series. I just had to get that stat off my chest here on Stats Over Politics.
I hate you. Celtics and Hawks. It's a wrap, man. What else? I've been watching these games, Kevin. I'm not gonna lie, because I like the Hawks. I like the players on the team, but you know what? I don't know. It's kind of hard. Like, you have a coach that came in mid-season, so I give him props for even getting to this point, to be honest with you, because anytime you fire a coach, it's usually not going to end up in the first round and even getting a game against, the defending
That's the
Eastern
real coach
Conference
of the year.
Finals. So, realistically, I would just say that it's over. Obviously, Jonathan Murray's not playing the next game. Again, like you guys say, maybe, I would say they could have Trae Young could throw up 50 shots and make a couple threes. But since he's going to be by himself out there, I'm assuming, and him being a little smaller guard, and they have so many people to guard him that they're going to just tire him out and just make him just see so many bodies. It's going to be a tough night. He's going to have to really just hope his teammates show up for him. And you know what? That's going to be, in Boston. So good luck. It's a good season for the Hawks. So the Celtics and the 76ers will be waiting for each other. And that series won't start for quite a while, probably like a week. So they're going to be game planning up for each other. So it's going to be a good one.
Perfect segue. Thank you, Gary. As the only series in the first round of the NBA playoffs that has been completed is the 3-seed 76ers sweeping Kevin's 6-seed Brooklyn Nets. Kevin, I'm just going to – this is your squad, the Nets. So I'm going to throw it to you here first on this one. I mean, should they have at least won a game?
Hey, man, Brooklyn Bridges, man, we going to be back. Mikal Bridges is going to do his thing. He going to rally his team together. We got a lot of draft picks coming, man. That's my East Coast team, man. I'm going to rock
Ben Simmons.
Nah. Hey, man, buyout market, or he's going to be playing with Boogie over in Portugal. But, so the Nets, they had an opportunity game too. But for the Nets fans, the future is bright, man. Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges came in and showed you that they can be dominant. Spencer Dinwiddie in the second act. They have a lot of things going over there. So they're a young team. They just got to keep figuring it out. And if they don't play Cam Thomas next year, bro, Kings can trade a second for
him. Gary, go ahead with your thoughts on this one next, and then we'll hear from Jaevon on this first completed series.
I was just going to say, shout out to Boogie real quick, whatever he's doing now, whatever he's doing. Anyways, this is over. 76, obviously it's over. 76ers did a clean sweep, and they look dominant as they should be against his team. Joel actually got a game to rest in this series too, so that's good for him. They're going to have a long time to rest until they play the Celtics, like I just mentioned, and that's going to be really real test. That's going to real test if they were ready, if this sweep was a no-go, if it was a fluke sweep or actually was a sweep where like, hey, they got their ducks in order and they're ready for the Celtics and taking them on because the Celtics often had a lackluster performance in one game and let the Hawks take one. So I think the 76ers are ready. It's a good sign that, Maxey and everyone stepping up. It's a good sign they were able to knock down the Nets, even though I don't know how many offensive weapons we can go down the list of how productive and they have a lot of weapons in terms of guys who really played some role player minutes on other teams. But as in terms of superstars, obviously the Nets don't have a superstar just yet, Kevin. Just yet. Not saying Bridges can't be one, but just yet. You guys see it for maybe one more full season, I'll be able to buy into that. But I would just say, I just really want to touch on the Ben Simmons thing. I don't know. It just kept making me feel weird that I keep seeing him on the sideline and like, what's up with you, bro? I know he just done and he's like over with, but like, was it injury? Was it mental health?
They
I
shut
never
him down
got.
for his back.
I don't know, but did I miss that, guys? What was he shut down because of his back?
Yeah.
What happened with his back? It's like getting with the kind of the quiet thing, man. Like we don't see you get injured, and it's like I gotta trust you because you say you're injured, but it's like. Really though, it's the playoffs. You're not really trying to suit up. You're not trying to help in any which way.
Hell no.
So it's like, all right, yeah, Yvonne, what you think? Wow, what we doing with Ben? Because since we're wrapping up the season, what are we giving up on Ben Simmons? We think he's going somewhere else. We think someone's even taking a flyer on him. Like, what are we doing with Ben Simmons, who was literally a superstar not
Shaun's
even a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
Shaun, what Ben Simmons happened to him? I know
Ben Simmons, the coach, I've said this on previous podcasts. The coach said, I have no idea where he fits in the rotation. So the Clutch got rid of him. I mean, it's a kind of.
I have no idea where he fits in the NBA anymore, Jaevon.
Yeah, it's spiraling. He's spiraling.
He could be I was about to say,
coulda, shoulda, woulda, Gary.
It's too hard to do that.
Going back to the game itself, had money on Brooklyn because no Joel. Kind of just would assume that they would have been able to give me one game. We ain't going out like that. Mikal Bridges did not have the best game ever. Tobias Harris looked like he was freaking Michael Jordan out there for some weird reason.
That's what you get for hating on Toby. You love to hate on Toby. That's what you get.
Yeah, Maxey had he made some timely buckets. It hurts, just going down. No Joel, so you kind of would assume that they wasn't gonna go out like that at home. But I should have stuck with my gut and said, hey, you picked the Sixers to win in 4 games, so why not just go with your original pick, right? But situational things happen, and that might change other people's. So it's just like wow. As the gambler, of this podcast, you kind of just you got to take your L's. you got to take your L's. So that was L this weekend.
Okay, and so now I want to get to a quick question from my guy Emiliano, who joined us a couple of weeks back, where he asked, what will go down in history as the worst trade/signing situation, Nets or Clippers experiment? And for the sake of time, we don't have any time to give our analysis on this, but let's just go around real quickly. I would say it's the Nets because the Nets had 3 Hall of Famers on their team. They had 2 former MVPs and Kyrie Irving, who's really fucking good. And to me, I feel like it's the Nets. Jaevon, real quickly.
Gotta be the Nets, man.
Gary?
What will be I think it's going to be the Nets, yeah. It's going to be the Nets.
And Kevin? Kevin, you are muted, sir. While Kevin unmutes himself, Uncle Manny said Nets as well. Are you going to make it unanimous,
100%. 100%.
For sure. Awesome. All right, guys. Now let's get to this last playoff series in the first round. Once we get on to the semifinals, there will be a lot less playoffs to talk about and much more other content to get into. And so now let's get to the wildest fans in the NBA, and that is the New York Knicks fans, as the 5-seed Knicks lead the Cavaliers 3-1, as I need to correct the seeding there because the Cavaliers are the 4-seed, not the 5-seed. Anyways, so the Knicks currently lead the Cavaliers 3-1. Jaevon, are the Knicks going to wrap it up in 5 back at formerly known as the Q in Cleveland?
I don't think they wrap it up in 5. I think, the Cavs probably aren't going to go out on their home floor. I think they probably win it in 6 games. That New York energy is off the chain. Those Knicks fans, when the Knicks are winning, New York is in flames, damn near. New York City has a lot more to be proud about because Aaron Rodgers signed today. But the Knicks right now are they're scary, man. I have the Cavs winning in 6 games. That's out the window. Just dropping
Me
games
too.
at home does not look good. But the Knicks, Brunson, man, what a signing. He's been a guy. How is this guy not all NBA? Julius Randle, where are you? I can't find you. Don't worry, we have Josh Hart. He's gonna go off and do what he does. Brunson's gonna do what he does. Star J Barrett has been playing out of his freaking ass. 26 points in the last game. If you can get this RJ Barrett consistently, the Knicks can be a very scary team. He's been a guy I've kind of shitted on in past episodes, but RJ looks good, man. He looks great. So if the Knicks can, win games like this, we'll be seeing Stephen A. a lot on First Take, kind of just doing what he does.
Kevin, what do you think of this series? Because I think we were all picking the Cavs. I'm sorry, Gary, with the dramatic gasp there. Go ahead, Kevin.
No, man. This series has definitely opened my eyes. To see Mitch Robinson go in there and dominate Jared Allen and Evan Mobley has been something to see, man. Mitchell Robinson has been fighting the injury bug throughout his whole career, but to see him come and battle these guys has been showing a lot, man. And just another quick stat for you guys. They have 83 points off of turnovers through the first 3 games of a series, which is the most points throughout a 3-game series in the last 25 years. So the Cavs, are just playing with 2 offensive guys. They're one of the only teams in the NBA, if I'm not mistaken, to play with 2 big men. So we're seeing that is shown that in this era, that's not going to work. It's not going to be able to cut it, especially if you have 2 non-shooters. The spacing on the court is unbelievable. But I have a hot take, man. I think Jalen Brunson owns Donovan Mitchell. If they win this series, it's going to be 2 in a row.
That's not, yeah. That's not a bad take. Go ahead, Gary.
You know what? We kind of talked about the Knicks. You guys gave the praise to Jalen Brunson as we should. They're just on a team on fire at the right moment. Like Vaughn said, Randall didn't have a good game, and it's like, okay, now we have other people stepping up, so maybe he might be expendable. Who knows? But I'm just saying, shout out to the Knicks for doing this. This is a shit shocker to me, guys. I'm not gonna lie, man. I really love this Cavs team. I always thought this Cavs team was gonna turn up in the playoffs. Been playing solid all year. Thought they were gonna do their thing. You just being Spider Mitchell go for 70 this year, 71 if I remember correctly. And man, oh man, you thought this team was gonna be great. And it's sad to see how they're going down. And it's like, again, another Donovan Mitchell team, which is kind of weird to say because we really got to look at perspective here. This guy's pretty young and he's been doing these things and been in the playoffs already so many times, and been having some great games in playoffs. But he didn't show up this playoff game. And there's some games you can't afford. Like, yeah, superstars have bad games sometimes in the playoffs, but there's games you just can't have bad games in a pivotal game 4 that makes you go down 3-1. It's kind of one of those games. So, this Cavs team, you can just tell, needs a lot of experience. They need to get they just need you can tell they need a year under their belt. It looks like, to be honest with you, they will rely a lot on Donovan Mitchell, but realistically, it shouldn't be like that. And I don't know whose fault that is. I don't know if that's Donovan's fault. I don't know if it's coach's fault. I don't know if his players are not asking to step up. I don't know whose fault it is. But I thought they got so much talent on this team that, the love, when you look at the stats, look like it's being shared. But when you watch them, it doesn't really look like it's being shared. It looks like it's kind of his turn, my turn. And when Donovan feels like he needs a pass and try to create something, then, it happens. But, again, Kev mentioned, they're doing something unique. And you know what? I thought that uniqueness could work, even though it's quote unquote back in the day type of play, when you said the Twin Towers were Gasol and Bynum playing, but they got 2 guys who are so skilled, who can, hit a jumper, who can, who are all quick on their feet. So I thought there was a chance this could win. This could, be a good thing for them. But realistically, they're going to need some more. They have a tight rotation right now. They need some more things up the bench. They just need some different pieces just to make it mesh more, flow better. And I feel like something Garland doesn't feel like when he obviously let Mitchell, the veteran guard, take over. But, it's tough to say. They're going to need – this is a tough one for them. It's going to be a tough one to swallow.
I picked the Cavaliers to win this series in 6 games because I really put some respect on the Knicks name, despite the fact that Julius Randle came into this series with an ankle injury. That was the main concern. But even with the thought of that ankle injury, I still knew that the Knicks would at least take a couple games. I did not think that this would happen. I thought that the Cavaliers and Donovan Mitchell were going to show up. But like Kevin said, now for the second straight year, Jalen Brunson is dominating Donovan Mitchell. It's that simple. And last year, yes, he did have Luka Doncic on his team. Now this is his team. And I just want to give a quick shout out to my close personal friend, Jalen Brunson, who I ran into in Doco in December 2021. I literally saw him walking down the street, and I was on a date, and I was like, I think that's Jalen Brunson from the Dallas Mavericks. And I literally ran up to him. I was just like, hey, Jalen, can I please get a picture?
In front of your date, Shaun.
Super nice. Hey, girl, can you take this picture for me real quick? Thank you.
She apparently I didn't do. She asked me if I wanted her to take it, and apparently I said no because I took a selfie. But I will say that she was actually kind of impressed that I was able to just randomly spot out an NBA player, even all masked up amid COVID still happening. So shout out to my close personal friend Jalen Brunson. I just had to get that
tight
in here and use it any time that I can. And anyways, guys, now let's get out of here. And let's close things out with a little bit of NFL news, and then also to how I lost my money this weekend, and we'll get to that here in the next 10 minutes or so. So the big news of today, gentlemen, is all the speculation. It's finally over. All the talk. It's finally over. All of the speculative interviews on the Pat McAfee show, they're over. It's official. Aaron Rodgers has officially been traded from the Green Bay Packers to the New York Jets as he follows the Brett Favre template. As the Jets, they received Aaron Rodgers, the number 15th pick in Thursday's NFL draft, a 2023 fifth-round pick, which is number 170. The Packers get number 13, so they exchange first-round picks. Packers get to move up 2 spots. The Packers get a 2023 second-round pick, which is number 42, and a sixth-round pick, which is number 207. And the the Packers also get a conditional 2024 second-round pick that becomes a first-round pick if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the plays this season. So, Gary, I'm going to throw it to you first on this one. It is officially official. Aaron Rodgers is a Jet. What were your thoughts and your reaction?
Time to get it cooking in New York. They're going to have another team ready to go. I think this is a good move. You can debate all you want about if the trade was too much, if it was all good, handy-dandy. I always feel like you're going to see a couple years down the line if we really see if this trade was worth it. If they win a Super Bowl, it was worth it. If they get knocked off, if they go far, and no, they had to win a Super Bowl in this one. And you know what? The Jets haven't been a franchise that has been doing too much winning, so obviously they might be actually happy even getting to a Super Bowl or even getting to a championship game. But I think that it's going to be tough because, he's going to the AFC now. It's going to be a lot more deep competition now. And, he's going to be in the division. His division is going to be tough as well. So it's going to be a tough pill for him to swallow. Tough for a environment to go into because leaving the NFC I don't think is a good idea for him if you want to look at the big picture to win a ring. But he's going to a place that wants him. I don't doubt this man at all because he's literally won 2 MVPs the last 2 years, and people might say that he's on his downfall, but I still think he has a lot left great football in him if he wants to play. And him requesting this trade, I can see the Pat McAfee shows now that he's going to be motivated and he's going to be ready to go, and he's going to try to do everything he can, hopefully, to try to pull a Tom Brady and say that, hey, they never got me help. That's why I never won my second ring there, and this is what happens when you give a great player like me some real help. And I think he's going to be able to prove that. I think they're going to make a lot of noise this year. I believe in Aaron Rodgers, and everything in the past history would tell me not to too much because there's some things that you can just look at personally. You don't know if a guy that has been living in a small city so long switched to a big city. I don't know. We'll see how it works. But just quick off the top of my head, this is a great move for the Jets, and I think, man, it's going to be a cool roller coaster to watch.
I think that this move definitely makes the Jets a lock for the playoffs, whether if it's winning the AFC East or getting a wild card spot. But I think that's as far as it goes, is that they are a lock for the playoffs. But Aaron Rodgers has proven throughout his career, Jaevon, that he can't win in the playoffs. I mean, he's not going to be running into the 49ers every single season now, but Aaron Rodgers has not proven throughout his career that he can win in the playoffs. And for that reason, I'm going to say the Jets are a lock for the playoffs. I already have a bet with one of my cousin's friends for 10 anytime push-ups because he said that the Jets won't win 10 games. I think that they win at least 10 games. And so I got the Jets as a lock for the playoffs, but further than that, I'm not sure. What do you think, Jaevon?
I think you disrespected Aaron Rodgers. Where do I place my money that the Jets win that division? Where take my money now? Jets win in that division. Let's get that off.
Tough one. Bills, Dolphins, Patriots.
Mike White, Zach Wilson went toe-to-toe. Who was it?
Josh Allen and Tua.
Here. Don't really.
We can't hear you, brother.
Yeah, you might as well say.
Jaevon,
you had it right.
Jaevon, go ahead, Jaevon. We can hear you now. Go ahead. Nope.
Sorry.
Okay. Go ahead, please.
I mean,
Shot clock violation.
Aaron Rodgers.
That's a shot clock violation. I know he started laughing at that.
Shot clock violation.
Well, we tried. Anyways, Kev, you want to give your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers real quick?
Yeah, man, I'm happy to see him back in number 8, man. As you know, we get to get that Cal Berkeley, Aaron Rodgers. They with the offseason additions of Alan Lazard, Mecole Hardman. You're adding that to Garrett Wilson, offensive rookie of the year. And you know, if Breece Hall could have been healthy, you know, they could have went co-offensive rookie of the year. So this offense is definitely going to be explosive. And you add Aaron Rodgers to the mix. So I'm definitely excited to see how Aaron Rodgers ranks in the AFC. But now that he's in the AFC, I have to ask you guys this question. Where does he rank amongst these quarterbacks? I need you guys to rank them 1 through whatever. Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson.
He's better than Trevor Lawrence. Slow down on Trevor.
He's in the top 10, but he's not in the top 5. That's how I'll leave it. Jaevon, did you want to try to?
I'm trying to see if I want to co-sign with Shaun. I'm trying to see if I'm trying to co-sign with Shaun. I don't know. I like it. Can't give me some time to think on that one. I'll come back.
Yeah, think about that real quick, Gary, while we get Javon's analysis.
He's better than Trevor Lawrence. Let's just get that out the way. People think, you know, Trevor. Oh, he made the playoffs one time. Okay, cool, great, got it. He's not that yet, but they probably will win their division. But Aaron Rodgers is better than Trevor Lawrence. I put Josh Allen ahead of
Bro, you had to cut one out. This is sounding horrible.
Sorry, Jaevon. I'm sorry, Jaevon. I know that you're still in the stream, so you can hear us. It was very laggy to where we couldn't even understand what you were saying there. So, love you, Jaevon. Maybe just give it a go again next week.
No, don't give up for the week. I
got an idea.
Anyway,
yeah, we are.
Hey, right.
I got an idea for next week. Anyways, okay.
Gary,
real quick. Gary, did you think about it?
Yes, I thought about it. He's top 5. He's top 5. Okay, he's top 5. It's between him and Herbert and the new man with the big fan with the long hair in Jacksonville, and I'm Trevor Lawrence. But I'm gonna give experience. I'm gonna give the nod to the two-time guy. The two-time MVP this past 2 years. I'm gonna give him the nod. So I'm gonna give him top 5. And I'm thinking, like you said, they're gonna make some noise. It's gonna be a good one, man. It's gonna be tough though, man. It's the AFC. It's so tough. But then again, it's football and it's one game only. So that's exactly what I'm saying.
Question that Uncle Manny asked is which Rodgers are they getting? An MVP or the 40-year-old? I say 40-year-old. Okay.
At least 1 year MVP year old.
They gotta get at least one, right? Yeah, one MVP this year or next year.
One run.
I was just gonna say that. So like if it's like a 3, he does 3 good years, then I can see him going, Shaun. Then I can see him get to the bowl maybe one time. But if it's only like 2 years, I don't know if he could pull a Brady. Brady pulled something in that, man. I don't know if I ever get pulled again. But it could. Just all situational. But go ahead and move on, Shaun.
Yeah, to answer Uncle Manny's question on my own part, I would probably say that they're getting an MVP for the one season, like you guys said, and then after that, it's all up in the air. And like I said earlier, I do think that Aaron Rodgers is going to make the Jets a playoff lock. I don't know if I'd go as far as Jaevon did, saying that they're a lock to win the AFC East, but I definitely think that they're a lock to make the playoffs. After that, I'm
Put it
not
in the
sure.
notebook, Shaun.
Put it in the notebook. Okay, I got you.
Put it in the notebook.
All right, I'm putting it in the notebook. So as I jot this into the notebook, we're going to move on and get to the NFL draft. The NFL draft is coming up on Thursday. Blue is very excited, Kevin. I know you are too. And so what are some of the thoughts that you have headed into this Thursday's draft, Kevin?
Man, I've been hearing a lot of news, man. I've been having to do a lot of research, man. We got some Niner guys on the podcast, so if we're going to talk NFL draft, I have to throw this out there. So it's been speculated that the Houston Texans, are not going to draft a quarterback at number 2. So if they don't draft a quarterback at 2 and they offer you guys the second pick of the second round for Trey Lance, are you guys doing it?
No.
I'm all right.
I'm good off that.
Dummies. Y'all ain't got no quarterbacks. I'm just trying to mess around. I wouldn't do it either. They got enough quarterbacks to develop over there. They don't want to add another guy over there, man.
I mean, hey, Trey Lance in a Texans uniform already got the old coach for the defensive coordinator.
Old coach or the old GM. I mean, hey
man, call it a party.
I'm good.
Anything else on the draft, guys?
I'm good. I'm good off of that. I will say that I think that CJ Stroud from the Ohio State University is going to end up being the best quarterback from this class. That's not shade on Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young is going to be a great quarterback in this league as well. I think his game is going to translate to the next level. Everyone's concerned about his size. That wasn't a problem for Russell Wilson or Drew Brees. Kyler Murray intermittently, but we shall see. Jaevon, do you have any thoughts on the draft real quick?
I think it's a smokescreen. Everything that's going on with CJ Stroud right now. Saying that Texans aren't going to take quarterback at 2. I'm like, why not? I mean, CJ's there. I think he's the second best quarterback, so why not? Unless they're waiting or try to get a Trey Lance. I mean, we're fielding calls, blah blah blah. So John Lynch came out today and said, I mean, they've been upfront with him that there could be a possible trade, but it's like we're kind of like trying to see what he has because he hasn't really played that much. So I wouldn't see the Texans trading for Trey. I mean, it's a possibility, but I don't see that really realistically happening.
All right, guys. Now let's go ahead, Gary.
Now go move on. We're talking
Next
about the
time
fight, right?
Jalen Carter will be an Eagle.
All right. Kevin says that Jalen Carter will be an Eagle. I
move
think
up to 5
Trey
again.
Lance will be a 49er when next season starts. Yes, Gary, now's the time to talk about how I foolishly lost my $20. It was
you bet
sure.
on Garcia?
Yeah, he did. You don't know about boxing, though.
You could have asked.
I don't know
Shaun.
shit about boxing. Gary.
Oh man. Anyway, let me just
Gary, do you even read our group chat? Damn it, Gary. Go ahead.
I'll be too busy to be reading our group chat. Your group chat is fun. I can't always read everything, but I always go back to the night and read it. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna lie. Gervonta Davis, I thank you, man. I'm not a betting man, Vaughn. I don't bet that much money, man, but I bet some money on this guy right here. And I've been waiting for this fight all year, to be honest with you. I wish we had way more time to talk about it because I literally wrote notes in this fight every round because that's how much I loved watching this fight. And to be honest with you, I know as people say it wasn't action-packed, whatever, but I really do think this is one of the best 2 guys in this division. And I like Gervonta Davis handling his business. I know Vaughn thinks it was a clean sweep, and me going for Davis, I don't think it's a clean sweep. I think that he ate a lot of Garcia's punches, but Garcia didn't throw enough punches out there to really affect him. And Tank's IQ in boxing, you can just tell, being the older man he is and the more experience he has, he took over his fight at the end. Kama went slipping in the that was kind of tough to see because you know why? Because Garcia knocked someone out just like that recently, and he got it done to him. So that was really cool to see. I don't know about you, Vaughn, but I want to see a part 2. I think it can even be a better one once Garcia gets a little more smarter and gets a little more thicker. I ain't gonna lie. He was looking too frail out there. Gervonta was looking like a real tank. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason his name is Tank, but man, I feel like let him get a little more meat on his bones. I feel like it could be a good fight. Even Tank said himself this was the best guy he fought, the guy he felt the most dangerous in the ring with. So I think seeing a fight 2 would be cool to see. But thank you, Tank, and handled his business as he should.
Jaevon, apparently Ryan Garcia says that he had a mole in his camp and he had someone snitching to Gervonta about everything he was going to do. What do you think about that?
I mean, they did say Tank did say that prior to that. He said that he had a mole.
So what do you think of that, Jaevon?
Ryan wasn't ready for this fight. He hadn't fought in 2 years. Gervonta has been the guy that's at the top of the division. I think he's kind of already been the face of boxing. Just how box office that he is. The people that brings out his pay-per-view numbers, it all kind of speaks for itself. 29-0, 27 KOs. You just look at Tank fights nothing but champions. Ryan is more of the guy. He's new onto the scene. He's young.
He ain't that new.
He wasn't ready for this fight. I don't think that just going into
He won a couple rounds of this fight now, Vaughn. It wasn't a clean sweep. He won round 1 for sure.
Part 2, do I really want to see a part 2? Maybe later on down the line. I don't think he's ready.
Yeah, I think he can go get a couple wins, come back.
Tank had him spooked the entire fight. After the second round when he got dropped, you kind of just saw his whole demeanor. Ryan was kind of backing up. Tank was more pressing. He tried to come in with a different approach of just him being able to, maybe press him during the fight. I don't think that was a good idea. Tank is a counter puncher. He's not a guy that's going to come out and throw, 60, like hundreds of punches. He's going to throw more power punches throughout the fight. Tank is more efficient when it comes to, it's more quality over quantity when it comes to punches thrown for him. He's a guy that's
100%.
going to throw. He's going to throw less punches, but they're all going to be power punches. They're going to count. Tank's a guy that is known for stopping his opponents. I wasn't really shocked by the outcome because I know that Tank was going to win by stoppage. Just didn't really know the exact round. He called it, several times throughout the fight. All he has is the left hook. Once you could kind of see when Garcia wasn't able to land that left hook, Tank was already in his head. He already been knocked down, and that left hook is kind of what he was kind of banking on, and Garcia wasn't really able to land that left hook, and it was frustrating him to a point where he didn't really know what to do. So Garcia didn't. He after he was knocked down, he looked just scared the entire fight. Tank kind of had him spooked.
No, I disagree with that. I'm not gonna lie. He had a couple of rounds in there where he was having him on his back foot too. I think it was pretty equal on his back foot too. There was a couple of times Tank went his back foot, especially round 6. So round 6 went to, is it 6 or 5? I didn't look at my notes, but one of those he actually had a good round against him, and he got caught up in a couple of on. So you're not giving that much.
Javon, that's when I said Ryan was heating up. Javon didn't want to.
You're not giving that much respect to Garcia. I'm trying to set up a match 2 here, and you're not letting me set it up. You're not letting me set it up.
Garcia's a good fighter. He's just not on Tank's level. There's a different level when it comes to just fighters.
I think the experience showed. Did you agree with that? I feel like the experience showed.
I don't
think the talent is that much different. I think the experience showed. Talent comes in different packages.
There's a gap.
I think the gap is the experience. I'm not gonna lie. Even take it from the guy who's betting all his money on Tank. Take it from the guy who's betting all his money on Tank.
There's a gap when it comes.
Okay.
Tank is the face of boxing. Ryan's new. I feel like he's up and coming.
He's the second face of boxing, to be honest with you, because of YouTube and all that. A lot of people know that man too. That's why. So
Tank is the face of boxing right now. I think
a
fight that I would like to see is Shakur versus Tank. I think Shakur has better defense. He's going to throw a lot of punches. That's a fight that I see going 50-50. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, fight Devin Haney." Devin Haney is the guy that has all the belts. He's undisputed, but I don't think Haney has the power to hang with him. I think that Blue, even Blue thinks that Tank is the face.
Blue is hyped up.
But I think the fight to make happen is Tank versus Shakur. I think that if that fight goes 12 rounds, Shakur can win that fight. That's how good I think Shakur Stevenson is.
Kevin, real quickly, do you want to give us your final thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, man, it was a real boxer versus a TikToker, man. So it was we knew it was gonna happen. Shaun hit the group chat. If I literally wasn't using the bathroom, man, I would have definitely typed out. And knowing Kevin, I would have been like, Shaun, only bet hundreds. I would have tried to get as much money as I could have out of you.
I would. It's good that Jaevon bid on the $20 then, because I would have told you, fuck no, hell no.
Y'all ain't giving Garcia no respect, man. But
hey, man, I did. I put my money on him.
No, Kev is not, man. Vaughn was a little bit trying to, but Kev wasn't. That's all good.
So, it was a mismatch from the jump.
Oh, my God.
All that talking all the time, bro. He wanted to bring the rehydration clause, bro. Had no chance. Talking. Took a knee, Gary. When's the last time we seen that in a fight?
Last fight when Garcia did that to someone in the previous fight, and you're taking like now I feel weird because I'm over here. I bet all my money. I was talking shit for Tank the whole time. And I fucking won't go for Garcia, but man, had to play DA there a little bit. Had to play a little devil's advocate. Anyways, Thanks for giving my money, Tank.
This is almost like it's an award show. You know, when an award show is going too long, the speeches are going too long. They start to play you out with the music, and that's what we're gonna do this week because we're running out of time. Appreciate you, Uncle Manny, for always tuning in. But it is time for us to get out of here, gentlemen. We had a lot to talk about this week. And we will be back again next Monday, I believe. The Kings, if they went to a Game 7, I think it would be over the weekend. So we should be back with you guys next Monday for episode number 27 of Stats Over Politics. NFL Draft is on Thursday, and we'll have a lot to talk about again next week. So we look forward to speaking to you all then. But until then, for Jaevon Toddy, Kevin Dent, Gary Singh, I am Shaun Holko. We appreciate you all for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe, rate, and review, and we'll catch you next Monday here on Stats Over Politics.
Light the fucking beam.
Light the beam!